Your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego, and happy Thursday to everybody out there in America's finest city. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. We are the Braden Surprenant Show each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Man, do we get news almost every single day in the Padres offseason.
To say it's another Thursday, too. We had fun last Thursday.
We get tons of news.
news.
We get tons of news on Thursdays, apparently. We get tons of news every day. In fact, I got a text from our good buddy Tim Day that goes like, are you getting tired of your show getting blown up at 9 o'clock? I mean, it's around 9 o'clock every single time.
It is a little annoying for the amount of prep work that I do, but that also means I have less prep work to do the next day.
Yeah, you're well prepared. So if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, it sounds like the Padres ownership group, the Seidler family, is exploring a sale of the San Diego Padres. Here are some quotes. I mean, Kevin Acee had it this morning, and here's some quotes from his article, and they put out a press release, the San Diego Padres did, and here's a direct quote from that. The family has decided to begin a process of evaluating our future with the Padres, including a potential sale of the franchise. Padres chairman John Seidler said in a statement, "We will undertake this process with integrity and professionalism in a way that honors Peter's legacy and love for the Padres and lays the foundation for the franchise's long-term success. During the process, as we prepare for the 2026 season, the Padres will continue to focus on its players, employees, fans, and community while putting every resource into winning a World Series. We remain fully committed to this team, its fans, and the San Diego community. The Sadler family has retained the financial firm BTD and MSD Partners to guide it through the process. This exploration is expected to result in a change in ownership, which would bring an end to an era that has seen the team achieve unprecedented success and popularity." Quote, "If the process leads to a new owner, the family is committed to finding a new owner of the franchise that shares Peter's vision for the team," a source familiar with the Seidler family's thinking said Wednesday. "The best way to establish a foundation for the club's long-term success is to look at options for the franchise, including a potential new standard bearer who shares Peter's values and goals for the franchise. The current ownership group, which assumed control of the team in 2012, oversaw an organizational makeover and what over the past 6 seasons has been the most successful period in Padres history." Anybody out there that says this is bad news, I'm telling you right now, it's not. This is great news. Now, the current Padres ownership group includes at least 10 people or entities. The largest stake, and we'll break it down here because Kevin Acee lays it out perfectly. The largest stake, which is around 24% of the team, is held by the Peter Seidler Trust, of which Sheil Seidler and their 3 young children are beneficiaries. The Seidler family, including Peter Seidler's mother, siblings, and other relatives, collectively controls about 20% of the team, and the remaining portion of the ownership is split between 8 to 10 other separate stakeholders. John Seidler, Peter Seidler's eldest brother, and the trustee of his trust, was approved by the other 29 MLB team owners as Padres control person in February. At the time, multiple team owners said they did not consider Sheil Seidler to be qualified as an option to be the Padres control person. It is not known how much of the team will ultimately be available for purchase. A minority owner whose stake of approximately 10% makes him one of the franchise's largest single shareholders is currently in the process of selling his portion of the Padres, according to sources. So maybe it's more than just the Seidler family. We don't know. According to Kevin Acee, a preliminary value of the team, according to a source familiar with discussions regarding the sale, is estimated at $1.8 billion. That price would include the assumption of about $300 million in debt and more than $150 million in paybacks to owners for 2 cash infusions made in recent years. Remember those cash infusions that the Padres did in order to get other players as part of the organization? The price for these types of prestige purchases are difficult to predict. The price is ultimately whatever the buyer is willing to pay. The Tampa Bay Rays were sold this year for $1.7 billion. The Baltimore Orioles sold last year for $1.73 billion. So they talk about the history of like everything that's part of the deal when it comes to, you know, the context and the details of this. Again, here's what I have to say about this. This is good news if you're a Padres fan. And before we talk about the future, you talk about what this ownership was about. It was great. What the Seidler family did and what Ron Fowler did when he was first part of this organization and part of this ownership group, and what this collective ownership group did is they pulled the Padres out of some of the darkest times in their history. And what did they do? They pumped money into the organization. They went out there and spent money on players, something that other ownerships rarely ever did for the Padres. They went out there and invested money into their team. They made the Padres the place to be, or should I say Petco Park, the place to be in San Diego. I'm telling you right now, this is great news. For everybody that says like, oh, it's terrible, they're going to sell and they're going to relocate. They're not going to relocate anywhere, okay? Give me a break. Where are they going to go? That's not part of the cards. That is just lunacy. I've seen other, insane comments like, "What? You're going to sell the team, and then the person that buys the team is just going to strip it down to the studs." Why would they do that? I mean, think about everything that is about to play out with this potential sale. It's great news. You cannot convince me otherwise. It's not great news. Because with this, it opens the door for an ownership group, or even better, a very rich person that wants to win baseball games to invest into this organization. I think too many people keep thinking about the negative, like they're going to sell the team and then the new guy's going to come in and sell everything off the team and they're going to do. Why would they do that? Let's think about this from his perspective if it's available for somebody to purchase. If you're somebody that's interested in owning a sports team in this day and age, yes, you do want to make money, but at the same time, why would you eliminate everything that makes the Padres valuable? What makes the Padres valuable? They got a playoff roster. They're going to inherit a playoff roster whenever this potentially goes down. They're going to inherit a general manager that's been here for a long time that has proven that they can win at the highest level. They're going to inherit a CEO that has been here and has put tons of people in the seats with everything that they've done around the ballpark. I mean, everything is built in for this team to be successful. The Padres own the San Diego market. They own the San Diego market. Everybody talks about the Padres. You see Padres stuff everywhere. They own the market. Why would anybody spend $1.8 billion and then try to get rid of everything that makes the team valuable? It makes no sense. I think a lot of people in San Diego are trained to talk about everything that's difficult and everything that's sad and we're cursed about this. You don't know what's going to be the case until this team goes up for sale. And it's the same thing like selling a house. The ownership group right now, the Seidler family, is looking for the right person to buy the team. They're not just going to take the highest offer. They're going to find somebody that wants to invest in the team and wants to win. I don't know how you could be pessimistic about this, to be honest with you. You have a group that, again, lost their brother at a young age and then had to inherit everything that was a part of this organization. And to be honest with you, they're going to go and sell the team and doing what's best for the San Diego Padres organization. It's just another chapter in the history of the Padres. You knew this was going to happen. Because maybe they're not into it as much as Peter was. I mean, it's not like John Seidler got thrown into this to be the control person of this organization that his brother loves so much. It's hard to get somebody to be super as passionate as the one that had it himself. And so with everything that's going about, they're putting the team up for sale. They're trying to find opportunities for the Padres and what's best for the Padres. I think this is great news. I think this is great news from all around. I don't know how you can sit here and be like super pessimistic about this. Look, this is what everybody wanted. So many fans were like, they got to sell to somebody. They got to sell the team and sell it to somebody that's going to spend a lot of money. They're about to do that. I would like to know what I could pour cold water on anything that's upsetting to people. That's thing like, oh, this is going to happen. It's not. They're going to sell to an ownership group or maybe a person that's going to want to win here in San Diego after they got you out of the cellar and made you a relevant team in Major League Baseball. I mean, think about all the pros to owning the San Diego Padres. This is such a unique sale. You don't have to build a new ballpark. You got the best ballpark in Major League Baseball. You got San Diego. You get to live in San Diego and be here in this market that is controlled in terms of eyeballs by one team, and it's the Padres. They show up every single night. You guys show up every single day. Why would a new ownership come in and try and alienate themselves from what you guys have done? I think this is great news. And it will continue to be great news. They're going to spend money on players. You get an ownership group that's going to come in and spend money. That's exactly what people want. This is great news for Padres fans. I was excited when I saw this. So that's the biggest news of the day. We're going to be talking about this. When we come back, we'll hear what Frank has to say. We'll get you your phone calls, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. I might have to convince some people today, but I don't know how you can look at this in a negative light. I really don't. If you're a Padres fan and want the best for the Padres and want the Padres to win, this is a great move in the direction of the San Diego Padres. We'll continue the conversation when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's number one sports station, 97 through the Fan. August on 97th to the Fan. Join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Got news today that the Padres might be up for sale. Sounds like they are going to be trying to do everything they can to as they begin the process of evaluating our future with the Padres, including a potential sale of the franchise. That was the news that we got earlier this morning. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. And as this goes about, a lot of people are negatively talking about this. A lot of people are positively talking about this. I don't know how you don't see this as an opportunity to make this a positive in a sense of getting somebody in here to own the team that has a lot of money and wants to go out there and win. I mean, I feel like we're just so trained in San Diego to be miserable about the sports teams that you don't have any optimism about anything going on. But there are so many people. I mean, think about this. And we don't know anything about who could potentially buy the team. But like, if a Steve Cohen type owner bought the team, you guys would be all stoked about it. The problem is we're afraid as a fan base because we don't know. It's the unknown. And so all of a sudden, negative thoughts start to pop in your head. What if Stan Kroenke's family bought the team? Would you be excited about it then? That's a wealthy person that owns a lot of different teams in Major League Baseball, in professional sports, that pumps money into what his investments are. I heard people talk about Joe Tsai, who's owned a lot of things in town here in San Diego, owns a lot of different businesses, or should I say teams around the country. I mean, what about a Steve Ballmer type owner that's like hands-on and wants to go out there and win? I mean, there's a lot of people that you could point to that have a lot of money that could be up for a conversation. But the fact that you don't know, all of a sudden, it makes things a little scary. But the reality is, it will be scary until you see the new ownership group, until you see who is available or who's looking to buy said team. But I see this as a positive. You look at this organization and everything that's about it. I mean, this was what Peter wanted to do. We don't know what the rest of the family wanted to do. We don't know. So if the rest of the family didn't necessarily want to run the Padres, which is possible, we don't know. Why wouldn't you want an ownership group that was really all involved, just like Peter was? I would. As a fan, I would. And I think that's an opportunity here for the next ownership group or the next person to own the San Diego Padres. I mean, you could throw out a name like Mark Cuban. Like, do I think Mark Cuban wants to own a baseball team? I don't know. I think there were some reports that he might have wanted to buy the Pittsburgh Pirates. I think there were some rumblings about that. Mark Cuban's a guy that wants to win. He buys a team to want to win. And if you're looking at what the Padres are, and if you are and there's a lot of rich people that want to get into owning sports teams, and there's not a lot of opportunities for that because you have ownership groups like in Oakland, and you have or Oaklamento, and you have ownership groups like the Rays and some of these teams like the Pirates that stay in the family forever, and they're just mediocre for so long because they're just collecting checks. They don't have opportunities to buy teams. And if you look at the Padres organization being valued about $1.8 billion, and you start looking at some of the other organizations that have sold, I mean, the Lakers just sold. The Lakers just sold for $10 billion. People in the conversation are like, if it's so lucrative, why would you sell? Why would the Lakers sell? That's an entity that's always going to make money. Why did the Buss family sell $10 billion? There's reasons for it. But there's an opportunity here now for the next owner to be somebody that has a lot of money that wants to pump money into the team. And from that perspective, you got to think it from a glass half full other than a glass half empty. I was just using some names that are very wealthy people that you might relate to. But there's a lot of people that want to get involved with buying sports teams. And if those people want to pump money into the organization and win games, you're going to be excited about it. Because at the end of the day, Padres fans, you want the ownership group of whoever owns your team to spend money on players to win games. And this is an opportunity for that to potentially come about. Owning sports franchises is a lucrative business. It's more lucrative when the value goes up and then you sell it. And when you buy something, just like when you buy a house, and you buy it, let's just say, I mean, like you could view this as like buying a team is like buying a house. When you buy a house for the first time, for anybody that's been fortunate enough to buy a house, you're not going to just rip it to the studs and sell it for less value. You might tear the carpet up. You might take out the windows, but you're going to improve the house. It's something you put your money into. The new ownership group's not going to try to flip it. But I guess the only consideration that would be kind of iffy would be like a private equity group buying the team. Then you'd be in a little bit of trouble. But again, the Seidler family gets to choose who they sell the team to. And Major League Baseball has to approve who the new owner is. These are contingencies put into place so you don't get a situation where a guy comes in and just rips it to shreds and then doesn't try to make the team better. And I bet you there's even clauses in that, potentially. I mean, you don't know what the deals are, but based on what the Seidler family has said, they're going to set this team up, this organization up for success if they decide to sell. I think you have to view this as a positive. I don't know why you would view it as a negative, because when you start, and I've seen a lot of different people go like, this is bad because X, Y, Z. That's just like your imagination on a lot of those the reasons of why it's bad. It's a start anew. It's a start afresh. The Seidler family did a great job of getting this organization to a level that this organization has never seen before. And the new owner can come in and do the exact same thing and then take it to the next level. Frank, I think this is great news.
So about this time last week, I had the instant fan reaction, and I'm going to do it again because it's becoming a weekly Thursday route. I believe this is great news.
It's the first thing I saw when I saw this report.
I really do. We just got a tweet at the show from Frank Tarantino at B_SURP show. It's because we're gun shy. After all the times this team has been sold, and we've been told that the new owners are going to be better, and they're worse than the other. Just put a bad taste in our mouth, but love the show anyway. Thank you. Here's the deal. For those of you who are worried about relocation.
Yeah, that just kiboshed that immediately. That's not happening.
When you purchase a team to relocate it, you are purchasing a team like the Tampa Bay Rays, who need a new stadium, and the city has been a pain in the neck to work with on getting the new stadium. So you say, okay, well, we're going to take this away from you in order to get leverage. There is no chance that this team is going to relocate. No shot.
I didn't want to spend too much time on that.
As far as an owner that is not going to be willing to spend money, and I just saw it in the chat, money, still have PTSD from the Spanos family. That is 100% fair. Just know that this is a completely different situation. The Chargers needed a stadium.
Here's what they said in the Kevin
Padres
AC
do
article
not
about
need
that.
a new ballpark.
As for the notion a buyer could relocate the Padres, the team's Petco Park lease runs through 2033. Further, the Padres ranked second in the major leagues in attendance in 2025, have set a franchise attendance record in 3 consecutive seasons, and rank in the top 10 in MLB and non-media local revenue. Why would you move the team?
Exactly.
It would never happen.
The Chargers...
And stop with the whole, it says 2034. Why would you move that? The Tampa Bay Rays moving makes sense.
Yes.
The stadium is destroyed that they have to fix. They're trying to fix the roof right now. They don't have high attendance numbers. Them moving makes sense. The Padres moving makes 0 sense. It's not going to happen.
The Chargers needed a new building. The Padres do not and won't for a long time. So that's that worry off the table. As far as an owner coming in here to tear it down, you have so much money tied up in so many players for so long on immovable contracts. An owner coming in who wants to purchase this team knows that and is willing to pay it. You are not going to get a guy who is going to try to come in here, try to restructure these deals so they can move them, because that's more work that doesn't need to be done. The owner that is going to purchase this team is okay with and would possibly look to expand on the large contracts that this team already has. You're not going to get a cheap owner that doesn't want these contracts to buy this team. You're not going to want it because they're not going to be able to get rid of them. And they're not going to want to sit there and wait the decade that it's going to take, taking money hit after money hit after money hit before they get rid of them.
Here's the other thing, too. Everybody's freaking out about, like, trading away all the players.
It's not going to happen.
First of all, they all have no trade clauses. So that's like number one of eliminating that. Number two, with Fernandez Tatis, why would the new ownership group, if they do end up selling the team, why would they come in and immediately do something that's going to alienate themselves from the fan base?
I just saw it.
It would be so moronic.
I just saw it. The Nationals traded Juan Soto because the ownership was looking to expand. Juan Soto did not have his big boy deal yet. He was still under arbitration when they traded him. That's why you had 3 World Series runs with Juan Soto, is because he was under team control.
That was a different situation.
You had the ability to trade him because he was not getting paid $50 some odd million a year like he is right now. That is not an argument. That is not a valid argument. It was a completely different situation. You have Manny, you have Fernando, you have Jackson Merrill now tied up for $25, $30, $35 million a year. Those are not tradable
They're
contracts.
not movable contracts. And you're not going to sell these guys to make it more attractive to sell the team. Usually when ownership groups sell, it's because their team is a disaster or they need a stadium or they're whatever. That's how most of these team deals are done. This is arguably one of the most attractive teams to buy at this point in time. It's like the Angels.
The
Angels need a new stadium. That's why Artie Moreno was trying to like sell the team and all that stuff like that. And they end up not selling the team. But the reality is, because to answer some people in the chat, the Washington Nationals and that situation, as Frank was mentioning, is different because they knew they had to re-sign Juan Soto because his contract was going to expire and he was going to become more expensive.
And he was going to be more expensive than they can afford.
The new ownership group that was talking with the current ownership group at the time basically was like, look, we can't be the ones that let this guy go. You want us to buy the team, you're going to have to either sign him to a contract or you got to wear it, and then we'll buy the team. And you know what? That ownership would totally do that because they're cashing out and they're getting out. It doesn't really matter. That's a separate entity. You don't have that situation with this Padres team. And again, what makes this team so attractive is the fact that they have a playoff roster.
Yes.
The fact that they have people going to games. The fact that they are the number one entity in the city. The fact that they're not only the number one entity in the city when it comes to professional sports, they are one of the most notable franchises as of right now in Major League Baseball. People are going to say that's crazy. But the reality is, what's the biggest rivalry right now in baseball?
Yeah.
It's Padres and Dodgers.
Padres-Dodger games are must-watch appointment television.
Everything that makes this organization attractive to buy, why would you come in and destroy all of that value? It makes no sense. This is not like all of the other sales that you see in professional sports. This is not like that. Those organizations usually have problems with attendance. Those organizations usually have problems with their stadium. Those organizations usually have a problem with the fact that their ownership group is a group that did not buy the team as a toy. They bought the team as this is how I'm going to make money. The Seidler family already made tons of money. And they bought the team, Peter did, as part of the group, to run the team and be part of baseball, like it was for him when he was a kid or when his grandparents owned the Dodgers. I mean, that was why this ownership group bought the team. It's not like the Spanos family. It's not like the Spanos family whose entire wealth is in the team, and they're going to get paid when they sell it. It's a different entity. That is an organization that wasn't spending money. That's the other thing, too. With all these organizations that end up selling, they're organizations that don't put money into their own facilities. They don't put money into winning. This is a different situation. And so far, again, I told you, like, go ahead and challenge it and say it's negative. I want to poke holes in everybody's argument. I'm telling you. The people that are buying teams now are guys like Steve Cohen, who's a rich guy that's got more money than God and wants a shiny new toy, and he wants to play with his toy. That's what it is. That's what a lot of different owners that are coming about in Major League Baseball and throughout professional sports. It's not flipping the organization for more money like a private equity group would do. This is my new toy.
Let me ask you, because I saw two comments here that I want to get to before we get to break. Braden acts like billionaires care about culture, sports, fans. This is money. Again, if you're buying a sports team as a toy, as he mentioned, would you buy the cheap one or would you buy the expensive one that has a perennial playoff roster? If you're buying it as a toy, if you're buying it to make money off of it, I'm buying the cheap one because I'm trying to save as much money as I possibly can.
I'm buying the Rays or the Orioles.
Exactly. I'm buying the Royals. That's what I'm doing. And the other one here, why sell now? It kind of makes sense to sell now.
It makes sense to sell now.
Because of what is happening next year. There's a lockout that is most likely on the horizon. So if you're not fully invested in what you are doing, and I'm not saying that
don't know
that John is or isn't. If you're not fully invested into what you are doing, why would you put yourself through the stress of a lockout?
Well, you're not making any money.
Exactly. Why would you do that to yourself? If you didn't absolutely 100% care and want to see this through, why would you put yourself through the stress and argument and fight of a lockout where the whole point is supposedly to make money and you're not doing it for that time and you're fighting with your employees effectively? Why would you put yourself through that?
It's true. It's true. And then, so 2027, again, we don't know what's going to happen in 2027. There's a lot of things that I think are going to happen in 2028. And so if you're a new owner, you got to survive the 2027. But guess what? You don't even know what the contract situations are going to be like. You don't know if there's a salary cap. You don't know if they're going to centralize the TV deal. You don't know if they're going to do X, Y, Z. And so who knows? So you can live through the short term of the lockout and be ready for the new, fresh look of what Major League Baseball is. This is the perfect time. This is the perfect time. So, I feel like, and I've been trying to, over the last 8 months or however long we've been on the air, I've been trying to, as a fourth-generation San Diegan, talk people out of the doom and gloom of being a San Diego sports fan and the curse and like, this is so bad. I know we've been trained to be like that. This is good news. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. When we come back, we'll get to your phone calls. We've got a couple of people on hold, want to weigh in on this news about the Seidler family potentially selling the team. And they have now formally putting in the conversations about evaluating the future as they will undertake this process with integrity, professionalism, in a way that honors Peter's legacy, as put out in their press release. We'll talk more about it as we continue on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. The YouTube chat's turning to a financial conversation. Financial knowledge conversation. This hour on 97 to the Fans brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Hey, San Diego, before the Thanksgiving rush, make sure your car's ready for the drive at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Your 15-minute drive-through oil change. Their friendly techs check your wipers, battery fluids, and tires to keep you in the game. That's with any oil change, and no appointment is needed. Get coupons at SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com.
If you want a financial conversation, I believe it is 8 o'clock in the morning on this channel on Saturday.
That's right.
The Smart Investing Show with Brent and Chase Wilsey. You can get your financial talk there.
Yeah, Econ 101 with Professor Surprenant Marchese is probably not the best.
Yeah, no. Do not listen to me. I make bad financial decisions.
Correct. I just think we got to try to talk people off the ledge today that think this is like terrible news. It's not terrible news. There's definitely positive news to this.
And we're seeing it a lot in the chat. Yes, the PTSD
I get
from the Spanos and the Chargers, it is 100% valid. You cannot let it scare you off of this, because that you have to look at the two situations. They are completely different. And the one thing that got me, again, this is to get one thing that got me through John Tavares signing with the Toronto Maple Leafs was you knew at some point he was not going to be an Islander. It just happened a lot sooner than we all thought. You knew at some point the Seidler family was not going to own this team anymore. It's just happening a lot sooner than any of us thought.
Well, and the other thing too, I think it just goes to show about how great this ownership group was and is still, because they're still in charge, guys. I mean, they're still doing this. They haven't sold the team yet.
Yeah, no, they put it up for sale. It's not
the family has decided to begin a process of evaluating our future, including potential sale of the franchise. Sounds like they might sell. It's not a guarantee. But I think it talks about how great the Seidler family was at getting this team to where they're at right now. And I think a lot of people are afraid that the new ownership group is not going to spend the money, which I understand. I understand that's a fear. But again, that's a fear in the back of your mind. That's when, I just feel like people are acting right now like you would if, your boss says, hey, I need to see you after work. And all of a sudden you're thinking about like all the negative that it could potentially be.
Yep.
And all of a sudden you psych yourself out and create this world that's not actually going to happen.
And
you just start thinking about it.
Just saw him pop up in the chat.
I was waiting for him today. When I saw the newsletter, when I saw the press release, I immediately thought of GSTP.
We can't put it on screen, but we know what the comment's going to be.
I know it's coming. I'm not going to. I know it's coming. I'm not going to address it. I'm not going to look at it. There it was. Yes. But I'm telling you, like, it's not. Today will be an emotional day, I think, for a lot of Padres fans. But I'm telling you, the more you look into it, the more you start listening to what we have to say about why it's positive. I'm telling you, it's going to work out. And then you'll start getting some names that are interested in buying the Padres. And could this guy be a potential fit? And you start looking into them, and you're like, oh, this guy's got a lot of money. This guy really wants to win. And all of a sudden, it'll be exciting news.
Here's another one. Why would you announce it in the offseason when you're supposed to be signing players? To that, I ask you, why would you announce it during the season when you're supposed to be fighting for a playoff spot?
So when are you supposed to sell the team exactly? When's the time? Like after you sign all your like spring training before the season starts? It's just, I think a lot of people are afraid that it's going to get away from what the Seidler family did for this organization. And what they have done for the city, which has been so great.
With everything that this team has going for it right now, those are valid concerns, obviously. But those are not the prevalent concerns that you should have right now about tearing the team down, relocation. With everything that the Padres have going for it right now, this is not a downtrodden team that is in the bottom of the West, in the bottom of the National League, that is trying to sell and rebuild. This is a team that is at the top of its game right now. This is the most popular that this team arguably has ever been for a sustained period of time, not just in this city, but on the national level as well. This team is at its height right at this moment. Any quote unquote good businessman who is going to look at this team and buy it to tear it down and take away everything that this team is right now is a fool. It would
Correct.
never happen.
I think this is great for the future of the organization. You know, if you want to think about it from a 2026 perspective, like short term, it's probably, I don't know, you know, first time manager, right? Ownership's for sale. Okay, there's a lot, there might be some distractions, but it's at the end of the day, I think long term, this is a great thing. And again, I think this goes to show what the Seidler family has brought to the city of San Diego and making the Padres relevant and making, I wouldn't say relevant again, because they never really were relevant before the Seidler family took them over, made them relevant, got invested money in good players in free agency, spent money on ballpark upgrades, doing all these events at Petco Park. I mean, they made this thing happen. And again, as everybody says, like the time to win is now. That's fine. But at the same time, you don't know what kind of owner's going to come in that might be able to flex some money. Now, if you want to talk about a San Diego curse, maybe it's a salary cap coming in after you get a guy that comes in and can spend. You get a Steve Cohen owner, and then they put a salary cap in. That almost guarantees the salary cap's coming in if you want to think from that negative standpoint of things. But I'm telling you, this is not like crazy news.
So Aiden in the chat just saw this, said that Peter Seidler was a bad owner, and
Stop
his
it. Stop.
reason,
I'm not even gonna
and his reasoning for that is because of the Xander Bogaerts contract.
Oh, stop it. Oh, just
Who
stop.
was your best player at the end of this season?
Just stop.
It was Xander Bogaerts.
Just stop. I just stop. 833-288-973. 833-288-973. Let's start with Kevin in Chula Vista. Kevin, what's going on? What do you think about the news?
I think I agree with you, Braden. As I said all along, this ownership group, as nice as they've been to all of us, is not a deep pockets group. And when you rattled off all of the various members of the family who are part of the ownership group, we don't know how many of them actually are able to sink more money into the franchise. Therein lies a big problem. So what they're going to have to do, and this is going to be a long process. I think Ben and Woods pointed out very correctly today that it's going to take a year or more because you also got the impending lockout coming, which looks to be all but a certainty. That's going to interrupt a lot of this because prospective buyers are going to have to factor that in, whether they can deal with it, whether they financially want to deal with it. That's going to be a big question as well. You know, the bigger problem as I see it, and I know you're tired of hearing it, but when the Padres lost the Bally's money, that was kind of the beginning of where we're at today, which was kind of a culmination of having a big hole blown into the budget. What people have to remember, and I would caution everybody, it's not just the player salaries that you have to account for. There's a hell of a lot of overhead that goes into every baseball team, minor leagues, all of the expenses for that, travel. You've got debt service on Petco Park. You've got investors that have to be paid. It's a whole litany of other expenses that are never shown, never thought about, that are indeed a huge factor into whether or not this ownership group has enough deep pockets to survive all of this. Now they're looking at a pending shutdown coming up as well, where there potentially is going to be a huge income loss that somebody's going to have to account for in that organization. So I understand it completely, and I'm with you. You know, it's the question is, who is out there that can sustain the expenses that come with this particular franchise and the limitations it has based upon the media. We're hoping that, and I'll finish up with this, we're hoping beyond hope that baseball will have enough common sense to do revenue sharing as it relates to all of the television money, where everybody like the NFL gets an equal shot at the pie, and that's going to definitely level things out a little bit. They need to impose a floor as well as a cap You got to have a floor to make sure that the Colorados and the Pittsburghs of the world aren't tanking every year intentionally, et cetera.
And I think a lot of that is coming, Kevin, and we got to get to a break. I think enough. I think you're gleaning into right now with the owners in baseball that are not this ownership group at this point in time, just because they're, putting up to potentially sell. But even with them part of this equation, I think a lot of the owners currently in Major League Baseball are aligned. And if they're aligned, they're gonna dig their heels in. And I think a salary cap and a salary floor might be on the horizon. I also think they have to deal with the TV contract situation because there's major disparities in that. And if you're Major League Baseball, I think there's going to be something that's part of this deal where they rope in some revenue sharing with the TV contract. I think you're going to see maybe a centralized TV deal where you don't have these local deals like the Dodgers and the Yankees have. And maybe the players get some of that. Maybe that helps balance out what might be coming with a salary cap and a salary floor. I just think there's a lot of different things that are coming on the horizon that are a lot of positives. Blake, Tony, Dexter, we're going to get to you when we come back, start the 11 o'clock hour, reacting to the news. Padres might be up for sale. Talk more about it later. All right. All guests of 97 to the Fan. Join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. We dropped off some gifts.
Yes, we do. We got some presents. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
I did forget to put this on the thing because we got it last night after I was already done with everything. We do have tickets to give away today.
Oh.
We are going to be giving away tickets.
Did we have tickets to give away the other day and we missed them? Or
we did end up giving them away. We have tickets to give away this week to this weekend's game between San Diego State and Boise State. So a pair of tickets will be available later on today in the show.
And we might talk about that a little bit later on the show as well. But obviously with the news today, and again from the article from Kevin Acey, who put this out at 8:55 this morning, and a direct quote from the Seidler family in their press release. The family has decided to begin a process of evaluating our future with the Padres, including a potential sale of the franchise. Padres chairman John Seidler said in a statement, "We will undertake this process with integrity and professionalism in a way that honors Peter's legacy and love for the Padres and lays the foundation for the franchise's long-term success. During the process, as we prepare for the 2026 season, the Padres will continue to focus on its players, employees, fans, and community while putting every resource into winning a World Series championship. We remain fully committed to this team, its fans, and the San Diego community." I know a lot of people were talking about, like, well, how do you sign with a place that's, where there's no security on the, like, ownership? Does it really matter? If you got a contract that's fully guaranteed and you have a no trade clause or you sign, like, you're not going anywhere. You're still living in San Diego and you're still getting your money. It really doesn't impact them a whole lot. I guess maybe you'd be signing on to a team that, you never know if they're going to win or not. I think people have shown that the Padres are going to be investing into their product. And they already mentioned that they're going to match and be in the same ballpark in payroll as they were last year.
I see what you did there.
Ballpark.
Yeah. Funny.
Anyway, there's more to that particular press release that's been posted on social media. A lot of MLB outlets have had it as well. Again, to really discuss about what's going on with the deal. If the process leads to a new owner, the family is committed to finding a new owner of the franchise that shares Peter's vision for the team. A source familiar with the Seidler family's thinking said Wednesday, the best way to establish a foundation for the club's long-term success is to look at options for the franchise, including a potential new standard bearer who shares Peter's values and goals for the franchise. This is part of the deal when you sell anything. Like, I'm in the process right now of trying to buy a house or a condo. And there's a lot of offers that get, put out there. It's hard to buy right now in San Diego. It's very hard to buy. And, like, they don't have to take the highest bidding all the time in real estate. Like, you're trying to sell to people. There's a lot of, entities that are people that inherit something and then they want to sell it, but they don't want to see it get torn down, and they sell to people that they don't believe is going to tear the thing down. Don't sell to a group that's going to try to flip the organization. Same thing with real estate. I can't tell you how many times, like, to help sweeten the deal to buying a house, of like talking about how, first time buyer, going to live in the house, like, that's a lot of different cases when it comes to business. I mean, the Padres ownership group is saying that they're going to do that. So again, I think a lot of it is just pessimistic fear from previous entities. But the reality is, you don't know what this potential new ownership group's going to be. You don't know who is going to be in charge, and you don't know if they're going to spend money or not. But right now, I'm positive thinking, and I view this as a positive. You're going to get somebody that's going to buy this team, that's going to want to win, that has the means to spend money to make the thing win and make the team win. And to me, I think that's a positive sign. I mean, for everybody that might be upset with the Padres ownership and not thinking they're spending enough, wouldn't you be excited with them selling the team to potentially bring in somebody that could spend? I just sometimes I feel like we just try to be negative just to be negative sometimes. I'm telling you. And I think a lot of people are starting to buy into what we're saying. This is a positive thing. This is good news for Padres fans. I don't necessarily know if it's good news for other entities with the people involved with the Padres. I mean, it should be good news. They should be making money. But if you're a Padres fan, this is good news. This is great news if you're a Padres fan. You'll find another Steve Cohen out there that wants to win at all costs and invest money into the organization. At the end of the day, as a fan, you want your ownership group to write checks and be willing to write checks. And then you want your general managers to go out there and find the right players with said checks. And then you want your players to go out there and compete for your team. That's what you're looking for. And right now, this is a potential change in ownership. And whatever the reasons are to sell are their reasons. And it's an opportunity to bring somebody in that might have more means to spend money than just the Seidler family has. And it's about to open another chapter of Padres baseball. And with that chapter, you can either go into it in a negative light or you can view it as a positive and realize, sometimes change is good. So we'll see. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's get to Blake in San Diego. Blake, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Bit of a positive spin. I mean, I think, look, I'm a long-time San Diego native. I lived through the rise and fall of the Marty Schottenheimer Chargers and seeing them leave and all, and I understand how that hurts, but this is such a positive for the Padres organization because for a prospective buyer, they're not just buying the team, they're buying the opportunity. San Diego is the 5th largest county in the country. It's the 8th largest city in the country. There's no one to compete with other than MLS, really, for a major franchise. And so if you have someone like Stan Kroenke, who's already involved in the sports arena renovation project downtown, doesn't own a baseball team. You have someone like Doug Manchester, the Manchester family, that's billionaires that could potentially buy the team. I think that whoever comes in is going to see the opportunity to spend and compete and to potentially and hopefully bring a championship to the city. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Blake. And we agree with you. I mean, it's a positive sign. There's a lot of people that are very wealthy that want to get into the sports business, and they want to own a team, and they want to run. And you know what they do? They buy it like they're buying a yacht. It's their toy, and that's what you want. You want somebody that's going to buy this team and make the Padres their toy.
You've also got to really understand and put into perspective that this is not a normal run-of-the-mill sale of a team situation.
It's different.
This is not a team that is looking for a new ballpark. This is not a team that is down in the dumps. This is not a team that is at a low point of its franchise's history. This is a team that is at the highest it has ever been as far as fan interaction, national interaction. It has got the consistently a top 3 ballpark as voted on by fans in the country every single year. It is a perennial playoff team with a fan support that has been unwavering over that time. This is not the sale of a team. This does not fit any of the profile of a bad sale. It's the owners just don't want it anymore, and it's been questioned whether or not they've wanted it in the first place.
A lot of those owners that are making money but don't put it back into the team are usually people that have had it for a long time. That's usually families that have had it for a long time and have made most of their money by owning the franchise than anything else. Like the A's, right? Like the Spanos family. And I don't know they made money in construction, but what they bought the team for is not what it's even close to being worth now. The Chargers organization, and they need the money, and there's a lot of stuff that's tied up to that. That's why that team potentially could go up for sale, but that makes a lot of sense. Same thing with because people are bringing up the Dallas Mavericks. Now, the people that bought the Dallas Mavericks wanted to put in this casino thing and try to get gambling going in the state of Texas, and they were going to have the Mavericks be the centerpiece of that. That's a different entity. It's a different thing. But and one person said too, I could flip it on them. They go, this could end up being a good thing, but that's speculation. Also saying it's a bad thing can also be speculation.
Exactly.
You're speculating. And again, it's the whole conversation. Your boss goes, I need to talk to you after your show or after your day at work. You can think about it from a negative standpoint, or when somebody, we need to talk, like your girlfriend or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We need to talk. Oh, immediate negativity. Automatically. It's over. It's going to end. It's not, this is terrible. My life is ruined. And then she surprises you with something. You're like, oh, I freaked out over nothing.
Yeah, I ruined my day over nothing.
Correct.
I just saw it in the chat here as well. Somebody, Joe in the chat, mentioning that Peter Seidler wanted this team for his kids. Peter's kids are what?
I don't know how old they are, but I know they're not even
really
close to
young.
owning a team.
They're really, really young. They're elementary school age, right? So you're going to wait with owners that may or may not want this team.
Right, and they got thrown into a bad spot as they mourn the loss of their brother.
While they go through high school, while they go through college, while they get some sort of experience in the business, it's going to be 15 to 20 years before they're even ready to take over the team. And by that point, Lord knows if they even want it.
Yeah, you don't even know.
So
they're not even teenagers yet.
So why would you do that? Why would you be okay with owners that may or may not want the team owning the team for 15 to 20 years, waiting for kids that may or may not want the team?
It's just, or may or may not know anything about baseball. I mean, you don't know.
I understand it was a family promise. I understand it was in the will. But things can change. Again, these are young kids, and who knows if they wanted the team in the first place? Who knows if they'll want the team in 20 years when they have the ability to take it over?
You don't know. And you don't know their situation either.
And then at that point, if they don't want the team when they're of age and of willingness to take it, then you're going to be selling the team anyway. Then we're going to be in this position.
And people that think we're polishing a turd here. I have yet to find a legitimate negative comment that actually brings any type of value to to making the situation negative. That's not speculation.
Why is John the most trusted person to make the decision? Because that's what the trust decided.
Yeah,
the trust decided that John was the guy.
I'm not part of the Seidler family. I'm not Peter. I don't know what they decided to do with the will. That happens in every family will. Not getting into their family conversations. I think it's it's good news for the Padres, the organization, everything like that. And I think everything that the Seidler family has done for this community has been phenomenal. I mean, before the Seidler family took over, you would forget that the Padres were playing games in August. That's how irrelevant they were. The Seidler family made them relevant. And then, you know what? Might be time for them to move on. You can't, I mean, there might be a lot of people that was like, I would never give up a baseball franchise. I don't know what their situation is.
Renee, I appreciate your Everyday chatter. What if they do want the team? When I was 10 years old, I wanted to be a doctor.
Yeah. You don't know.
That dream faded away very, very quickly because I realized I'm too lazy to do school for another 8 years, and I hate the school that I have to do to voluntarily go to school for another 8 years.
I just think that a lot of people, and I continue to say this. I mean, the Peter Seidler was such a great owner that I think a lot of people are worried that whoever buys the team is going to turn into one of the bad owners at the Padres, or should I say the Clippers or the Chargers or some of the other teams that have been in town have had. And I get it. But at the same time, I think this is good news. I think this is great news for the San Diego Padres and their fans. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. I have a couple of minutes here to get to some of your phone calls. Let's get to Dexter in Spring Valley. Dexter, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on?
I'm going to put a new spin on all this. I am indifferent. I can see the positive. I can see the negative. Let's take a real quick history lesson. In the past, lots of bad ownership teams. Lots. We had fire sales. We had Roseanne Barr singing the national anthem and grabbing herself. We've had all kinds of horrible, horrible things happen to us. However, we've also had some really good things happen to us. Ray Kroc bought the team. He kept it from moving to Washington, D.C. Then we had the ownership team that, with the Moores, got us to a World Series, made us relevant again. So, building up to the Seidler family. So historically speaking, it's kind of, you know what I mean? It's a wash. So I understand why the doomers are because they're all, doomers are always going to focus on the negative. They're going to have the black cloud hanging over their head, boo, hoo, boo, hoo. But I'm indifferent because we've had both good ownerships and bad ownerships. We've had good things and bad things. Okay. So I'm not going to worry about it because it's still a couple of years away, whoever buys the team, whatever. Now with the people wondering about moving, if you follow a YouTube channel by a gentleman by the name of Brody Brazil, he's in the Bay Area. He's a former sportscaster in the Bay Area. On his channel, he's talking about a couple of cities that are building up towards trying to make a pitch for an MLB team to move there, Portland and SLC. And he's gone into great depth researching and, talking to people and stuff. And on his channel, he has all of that information there. So I understand why there are people who are worried that the Padres might get up and go.
Which
if
they're not,
another
yeah.
ownership team comes in there. Yeah, but
Which
I'm
they're
just
not gonna
saying,
do.
it's out there. Now then, here's what I'm hoping will happen. I know it won't happen because it's Hollywood. I want to see a little big league. I want to see the Seidler kids become Billy Haywood, take over the team, run the team. I want those kids to get in there and go, you know what? These guys are our baseball cards. We're going to go out there. We're going to win a team. We're going to win the championship for our dad. And this is how we're going to do it. And we're going to make make a movie out of it. Again, I'm just being facetious, but you get what I'm saying. It's like, we're a couple of years off. Let's all just calm down, be indifferent, wait, and go, just wait, because this news just broke. It's not a big deal. They're not Dino. They're not
Right.
They're not the Spanoses. They're not the guys who own the Rockets and moved them to Houston. They're not Donald Sterling and moved the Clippers to L.A. I mean, it's right now. They're just doing feelers and everything. So let's just take a step back, calm down. Let's see what happens. Let the process play out.
Yeah, let the process play out. And it's all these things we have zero control over. And they're going to do, and we got to go with what they said, and they're going to put the organization in the best spot that they possibly can. And you got to view this opportunity as a positive side. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen in life, and you have to use it as an opportunity or a chance that, to make something good out of it.
And I just want to be clear. Dexter was not insinuating that the Padres could be moving to Portland or could be moving to Salt Lake City. He was saying that there is talk out there of teams of those cities wanting baseball teams. He was not insinuating that the Padres were moving.
He was explaining why some fans would be worried about that. Yes. But as we know, they're not leaving. They have a lease here for a long time. And why would you move the team out of a place that has proven that they are arguably the coolest place to be a baseball fan? I mean, how many times do you see MLB Network just talk about how great Padres fans are and the electric atmosphere? How many times have you seen players go like, man, I love playing in San Diego?
It's a nightclub.
It's like a playoff atmosphere every single night. They're not going to like remove that to go to, I couldn't even tell you, like, real city. Salt Lake, really? Salt Lake? Nashville?
Yeah, the Mammoths aren't that bad.
All right. We need to take a quick break. We'll get more of your comments when we come back. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. This is why I think it's going to be a positive in terms of an investor or a person that's going to buy this team. I'm going to talk about why it's such an attractive team to buy when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays of the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year. That's like $250 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Seidler family to explore strategic options for the San Diego Padres, the title of the press release that the Padres put out earlier today. The Seidler family today announced that it has decided to initiate a formal process to explore strategic options for the San Diego Padres, including a potential sale of the franchise. This decision follows months of careful consideration and consultation with trusted advisors. John Seidler, the chairman of the San Diego Padres, said, quote, "The family has decided to begin a process of evaluating our future with the Padres, including a potential sale of the franchise. We will undertake this process with integrity and professionalism in a way that honors Peter's legacy and love for the Padres and lays the foundation for the franchise's long-term success. During the process, and as we prepare for the 2026 season, the Padres will continue to focus on its players, employees, fans, and community while putting every resource into winning a World Series championship. We remain fully committed to this team, its fans, and the San Diego community." So,
just got an update while you were reading that. Adam sent it to us from Kevin Acey. Updated with context on why the Padres could be worth north of $2.5 billion.
Excuse me. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, so that's up from the 1.8 that they were valued at. So there's some money to be made.
All right,
for
so
sure.
I refreshed that article. And I'm trying to find that.
Adam just sent it to us.
I know, but
it's
it's
an AC post.
AC updated the article he had from earlier, so I just refreshed it. So here's some of the things from it. I had something that was new. As for the notion, here's what it said. Padres CEO Eric Grubner's no, it's Eric Grubner's contract. All right, maybe I'll look at that other deal. I don't see a update on this particularly. But there was something else I wanted to point out on this particular article that Kevin Acey had before I open up the other one that you said. Because this is interesting. So here's for the people that were freaking out about like the relocation thing, it's not going to happen. Okay, so we're gonna nip that now. As for the notion a buyer could relocate the Padres, the team's Petco Park lease runs through 2033. Further, the Padres ranked second in the major leagues in attendance in 2025, have set a franchise attendance record in 3 consecutive seasons, and rank top 10 in MLB in non-media local revenue. Quote, "The Seidler family believes a key driver for a buyer is the San Diego market," a source familiar with the family's thinking said. They have been, and then they talk about the previous owners that have owned the San Diego Padres. I guess there's been 5 of them. Let me go pull that article up from Kevin Acey or whatever he decided to update. Interesting that that is a massive jump from what he reported earlier with the $1.8 billion level. Let's take a look. So, importantly, updated with context on why the Padres could be worth well north of $2.5 billion. I'm trying to find the exact part of here that was different than what we've already talked about.
Yeah, I'm looking through it also.
So I don't know how much of the update is. Plus, my computer screen goes dark every 15 seconds, which is also fun. Okay. Here we go. It is not known how much of the team will because there's some new stuff in here. It is not known how much of the team will ultimately be available for purchase. A minority owner whose stake of approximately 10% makes him one of the franchise's largest single shareholders is currently in the process of selling his portion of the Padres, according to sources. The price for these types of prestige purchases are difficult to predict. The price is ultimately whatever the buyer is willing to pay. However, sources on Thursday said that recent Major League Baseball team sales have been completed for approximately 5.5 times the team's annual 5.5 times the team's annual revenue. One source placed the Padres' revenue at about $500 million.
So that would mean that's where the $2.5 billion comes from.
That is correct. So, source on Thursday, today, said that recent Major League Baseball team sales have been completed for approximately 5.5 times a team's annual revenue. One source placed the Padres' revenue at about $500 million. The sale of the Padres would include the assumption of about $300 million in debt and more than $150 million in paybacks to owners for 2 cash infusions made in recent years. The Tampa Bay Rays, whose owners will have to build a ballpark, were sold this year for $1.7 billion. The Baltimore Orioles sold last year for $1.73 billion. Both of those teams perennially ranked near the bottom in MLB attendance over at least the past decade, and both have a similar local television deal to that of the Padres.
What? So they both have a similar television deal to the Padres, but what is something that AC said there that both Tampa and Baltimore have a problem with that the Padres do not?
Attendance numbers.
Thank you. What do the Tampa Bay Rays have that the Padres do not, and Baltimore too, to be fair?
Attendance. They don't have they don't have new ballparks.
There you go.
I mean, I don't even know what to call Camden Yards.
There's
with the weird fences that they've put in there.
Camden Yards is the first of this new generation, this new era of ballpark.
Super old now, though.
Yeah, that was 94, I think, was the first year of Camden.
Mm-hmm. I guess. I don't know. I feel like they've been at Camden Yards for a long time, but probably my entire lifetime. Here's what else had to be said. Members of the Seidler family were part of the group headed by Peter Seidler, Ron Fowler, that bought the Padres from John Moores in 2012 for what has been reported as an $800 million purchase price. Wow.
Open in 92.
Thank you. That included more than, for who? For Birdland?
Hey, Birdland.
Nice. I knew we could have got that in there. That included, Peter Seidler, Ron Fowler bought the Padres from John Moores in 2012 for what has been reported as an $800 million purchase price. That included more than $400 million in cash, the assumption of nearly $200 million in debt, and the $200 million Moores realized from what was then recently signed a $1.2 billion local television deal. The person familiar with the Seidler's intentions who spoke on the condition of anonymity. We've had so many reports with that. I've actually learned how to pronounce that word. I could not say that word for the life of me. Anonymity. In fact, I was so frustrated not being able to say that word. I said it in the mirror probably 1,000 times over the last couple of months. Anonymity. It sounds like sea anemone. Anonymity. Anyway, I digress from that.
Fair enough.
Because the family did not want to speak publicly beyond John Seidler's statement. They said that ownership plans to conduct, quote, business as usual without disruption to the team in 2026. The person said the 2026 payroll will, quote, remain in the same neighborhood as last season when the Padres ranked 6th in payroll obligations after CBT penalties and bonuses. That echoed recent statement by Padres officials. So an anonymous source in the organization, or maybe the family, I don't know, that's what it says business as usual. So they're going to spend around the same amount of money they spent last year.
Which you would assume. Because, again, while you're looking to sell the team, you're just everyday operation. I mean, we've been through it here. Between the Entercom and Odyssey change, we didn't really notice too much of a difference. The differences you notice the differences after the new ownership is in place. Everything up until then is just business as usual.
So, to go about that, the person said will remain in the same neighborhood. It is also expected the Padres leadership will remain in place through any sale. Two sources reiterated Wednesday that President of Baseball Operations A.J. Preller and John Seidler have continued talks regarding an extension for Preller and predicted an extension would be finalized soon. However, the sides have not discussed terms of a potential deal. Preller's contract runs through the end of the 2026 season. Padres CEO Eric Grubner's contract, which initially was due to expire at the same time as Preller's, was extended last year through at least 2029. Grubner also received a small stake in the team. As for the notion a buyer could relocate the Padres, we talked about that already. That's not going to happen, so forget about it. Forget about it. All right, interesting on the new valuation of the Padres. And again, that tells us exactly what Frank and I have been talking about. This is different than all the other sales that you've seen. This is a different sale. This is why it's a positive thing. Padres are could be worth up to $2.5 billion with the revenue that they're making. And that's the first time. Again, you're not going to see the revenue. They're not going to open their books. They're going to do it to make a sale, but they're not going to open up the books to the public. This source in Kevin Acey's article place the Padres' revenue about $500 million. So again, like for everybody that says like, oh, they're selling because it's not making any money. They're making money. Again, you go through the list of things here and the situation at hand of this family inheriting this team or now having to take control of the team after their brother died. I could see why they want to sell. I really could. I think it's more than just money for this, to be honest with you. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. When we come back, we'll take more of your phone calls, and I will lay out why this is such an attractive purchase for anybody looking to buy a sports team. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. Remember to listen at 1 o'clock for us to announce today's biggest fan for a chance to qualify for a night in our Odyssey suite at a future Padres game with all of the fan staff. Register your name at 97throughthefansd.com/biggest fan in order to potentially have your name called. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. Big news today about the Padres potentially being up for sale. We're going to talk about that and reset some things of it, just in case you missed it when we start at noon. But it is around that time, and it's probably time to dive into some other things as we get to today's sports thread.
The one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me?
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk. Brought to you by QC Kinetics. Stop sitting on the sidelines. QC Kinetics gets you back in the game without surgery. To learn how, visit QCkinetics.com.
All right, Frank, what's going on in the sports world?
We've got a lot, as usual, to get to here with the sports thread. So we'll begin with
Number 1.
Michigan State had some penalties levied on them yesterday. The NCAA has placed Michigan State on 3 years of probation for violations that occurred during Mel Tucker's tenure as coach.
Fun.
The violations occurred due to the participation of 3 ineligible players. Now the Spartans will vacate all 14 wins from the past 3 seasons, a school spokesman confirmed. That includes all 5 wins last season during Jonathan Smith's first year as coach. The 3 players are no longer with the program. Michigan State will also be penalized $30,000 plus 1.5% of their football program's budget. For the 2024 season, that budget was $58.6 million, according to the figures provided by the Knight Commission on Intercollegiate Athletics. The Spartans will also face restrictions on official and unofficial visits, recruiting communications, recruiting person days, and off-campus recruiting contacts and evaluations over the probationary period. So pretty stiff penalties levied out against the Michigan State football program.
If they took State out of Michigan,
yeah, it would have only been $20 million.
They wouldn't have to pay anything. It would be fine. Come on, man. I just like who the NCAA decides to like throw the hammer down and who they decide to like not punish is crazy to me. It's crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, what did Michigan get?
I think it was like $20 million.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
sick.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, thanks.
Love you guys
We
too.
appreciate the time and effort, NCAA, for punishing the right people.
Number 2.
Good news. If you are an MLS fan, this game has become more attainable to you. MLS owners are expected to vote today on 2 major changes to the league's operation and structure, barring last-minute snags and final decisions and agreements with the MLS Players Association. The Board of Governors is prepared to make official a change to a fall-spring calendar that syncs up with the top European leagues, according to sources briefed in the agenda. In addition, the league will likely vote to change the competition format. The proposal will see MLS move to a single table system, one that also incorporates 5 divisions, rather than the 2 conference system that they have right now. They have also approved a change. If you have Apple TV Plus, you do not have to pay for MLS season pass anymore starting next season.
Starting in 2026.
Yes. So next year, if you have Apple TV Plus, you have the games. It is not behind the paywall of MLS season pass. But those are 2 major changes for the popularity of this sport here, especially to possibly move to that fall to spring schedule instead of it coinciding with the baseball season, and also to completely change its playoff format again.
So they're going to be playing in the fall through. So they would start in.
They'll start if it goes by the European schedule, they'll start in about August and end in May. That is what the European schedules do.
So they'll compete directly with
the
NFL and
college football,
and
with
then
Major League Baseball,
the beginning of the baseball season,
beginning and end of the baseball season, yes,
and hockey and
the
basketball.
NBA, yes,
interesting. That's interesting.
It's
probably better for getting players, maybe
top European players. It's also better because now that you're on the same schedule as Europe, a lot of these players, as you meant, are used to that kind of thing. So it's odd the way the contracts work because you can get loans, for instance, in soccer. You can either do half a season, a short-term loan, a season-long loan, or 2 years. A short-term loan is 6 months. So it goes from January to the end of July. That coincides with the end of the European season and the start of the MLS season, depending upon when the transfer window is open. You could be trying to take away players who are going for a championship in the top flight European leagues to try to start your season off here in the MLS, and vice versa. So this puts everybody all on the same schedule, as well as the single table playoff format with 5 divisions. That is also going to go with European soccer. But I think the biggest thing, at least for eyes in the sport, is that they have confirmed that they are not going to be behind the MLS season package paywall anymore. They're going to be straight on MLS season plus. Apple TV Plus.
That's good that you don't have to pay an additional fee to watch the MLS. That's good. I think that being on the same calendar as European soccer is probably also good.
Mm-hmm.
What's not good, some of these places, Denver, Salt Lake, Minneapolis in the winter, as Cody laid out. Some of a lot of snow games. That's not great. I think trying to compete with the National Football League in the United States is probably not the best. Or college football. I think that's also kind of not the best. My thing is now it's so now they got it. I mean, it's only a handful of games that they have to coincide with Aztec football here in town. Mm-hmm. But I also think it's good news for San Diego fans when you have baseball and you have the MLS.
Yeah.
When you just have those two sports in town, it's perfect. It goes right into the next calendar. You're going to have sports year round here in San Diego with not a real big offseason for anything. Mix in Aztec basketball. And it's great.
And during the dog days of summer for Major League Baseball is when you're going to have MLS Cup playoffs. So if you're getting a little wary about the Padres,
would be in June.
Yeah, playoffs would be in the summer. So if you're getting a little wary with the Padres, you're like, I don't know if I want to go to a game. This is where the season's starting to feel like it's going to drag. You have MLS playoffs right there.
Right.
And with everything we've seen out of San Diego FC.
You always want to go to the Padre games, though, too.
Yeah. So. Oh, absolutely. But with everything that we've seen out of San Diego FC, it gives you a genuine alternative in the summertime.
Now you can go from Padres game. You can go from playoff game to Padres game, or vice versa.
That is another thing.
Go to the 5:40 Padre game and then cruise over to the late night playoff game.
Yep. Get hyped with San Diego FC and then head right over. Bring that momentum over to Petco Park as well.
Number 3.
On the night Dallas Cowboys defensive end Marshawn Nealon died, the team director of security, Cable Johnson, called law enforcement to ask for a welfare check on Nealon and to tell police Nealon had sent a text saying that he did not want to go to jail. He sent out, this is what Cable Johnson told Plano Police Dispatch. He said, quote, he sent out some group texts that are concerning probably mental health, but the group text seemed to be a goodbye, made some statement about not being able to go to prison or jail. Nealon died from an apparent self-inflicted injury last week. This is just a sad story that is continuing to get worse, but very, very good on the Dallas Cowboys and Cable Johnson for recognizing that something was off and asking for that wellness check.
Yeah. It's a very terrible story. And, the more news that comes out, I mean, obviously that's, more sadness to the story, but also some good things coming out of it too, with the positive of, for the future. So just a difficult one for a lot of the Cowboys this week, and a lot of other, people that know this young man.
Yeah. And again, very, very good on Cable Johnson for seeing that there was something more to that. Because Lord knows how else this story could have ended.
Number 4.
The NBA has once again overhauled its All-Star Game format. Beyond the obvious change, going to a 3-team format featuring 8-man rosters, 2 of which will be made up of Americans and a 1/3 of international selections. There are a couple of changes to how those players will be selected. The basics: 5 starters and 7 reserves from each conference, with a combination of fan, media, and player voting for the starters, and coaches picking the reserves remain unchanged. What is the difference, though, is that there will no longer be any positional requirements for those picks. I don't see what you could possibly do to the NBA All-Star Game specifically to make anyone care a lick about the NBA All-Star Week.
I think it's in general for All-Star games. That's why baseball has always had the best All-Star game,
right?
For a long period of time.
But the NBA is by far the worst.
Yeah, because you don't have guys. What people want to see in an All-Star game is the best in the world competing at a high level, and it's hard to do with not a lot of money incentives. It's hard to do when it's potentially putting at risk to get hurt and stuff like that. I get it. It's going to be hard to make the NBA and the NFL specifically All-Star Pro Bowl games relevant or exciting. Very difficult to do that. So anyway, that's a look at what was going on or in the sports world. When we come back, we'll get your phone calls on this information and passed along that the Padres might be up for sale. If you're just tuning in, we got some news for you as we come back in the noon hour on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 to the Fan.
San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime use.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
All guests on 97 The Fan. Join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with the crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapiro.com. Got a lot to unpack today. And if you're just tuning in and you were like, like Frank said, is it like station tour day today? I mean, there's so many people walking around. It's great.
Yeah, it's a busy old day here at the Odyssey Palace.
We met a gentleman earlier today, and he came in, and he was like, well, what are the topics today?
Yeah.
And we were like...
Oh, just the everyday topic of
I thought it
selling
was
the team.
The joke kind of deal, like, oh, like high school girls volleyball is in state playoffs, and, USD men's basketball won last night, and, we're going to have every coach on for the high school football games on Friday. And we're like, no, the Padres might be up for sale. And he was like, what? That's news to me. He was like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. I was out in OB having a breakfast burrito, enjoying my time. I'm like, well, you know what? You right now in the car driving to work, driving on your lunch break, in the middle of the day, might not be up to tune of what has happened today. This is the report from Kevin Acee at 8:55 this morning. The team announced Thursday that the Seidlers got the screen are exploring their strategic options, which could result in the sale of part or all of the team. The announcement comes one day shy of exactly 2 years after Peter Seidler passed away, as put into the article by Kevin Acee. Quote, the family has decided to begin a process of evaluating our future with the Padres, including a potential sale of the franchise, according to Padres chairman John Seidler in a statement. Quote, we will undertake this process with integrity and professionalism in a way that honors Peter's legacy and love for the Padres and lays the foundation for the franchise's long-term success. During the process, as we prepare for the 2026 season, the Padres will continue to focus on its players, employees, fans, and community while putting every resource into winning a World Series. We remain fully committed to this team, its fans, and the San Diego community. Seidler family has retained the financial firm BTD and MSD partners to guide it through the process. When talked about a little bit further and had since been updated in this article, it explains that the Padres ownership group includes at least 10 people or entities. The Padres' largest stakeholder, around 24%, is held by the Peter Seidler Trust, of which Seal Seidler and their 3 young children are the beneficiaries of. So that part owns 24% of the team. The Seidler family, including Peter Seidler's mother, siblings, and other relatives, collectively controls about 20% of the team. So the Seidlers together own about 44% of the team. The remaining portion of ownership is split between 8 to 10 other separate stakeholders. John Seidler, Peter Seidler's eldest brother and the trustee of his trust, was approved by the other 29 MLB team owners as Padres control person in February. At the time, multiple team owners said they did not consider Shield Seidler a qualified option to be the Padres control person, as put out in the article from Kevin Acee. Now, this is something else that he put in here. It is not known how much of the team will ultimately be available for purchase. Obviously, the Seidler family that might be putting up the team, that's 44% if they all decide to sell their shares. The other portion, like the other people, they could decide not to sell, and then it's not the entire organization up for sale. It could be just certain stakeholders. But he did have this to say A minority owner whose stake of approximately 10% makes him one of the franchise's largest single shareholders is currently in the process of selling his portion of the Padres, according to sources. So, if you include that particular person, or him, with the Seidler family, that's going to be 54% of the team potentially up for sale if nobody else decides to sell portions of the ownership group. So, there you go. The price of these types of prestige purchases are difficult to predict, as Kevin Acee points out. However, on Thursday, sources have told Kevin Acee that recent MLB team sales have been completed for approximately 5.5 times a team's annual revenue. One source placed the Padres' revenue at about $500 million. That would get you around $2.5 billion that this team could be potentially worth. In terms of comparison of other entities, we'll get to that in a second, but the sale of the Padres would include the assumption of about $300 million in debt and more than $150 million in paybacks to owners for 2 cash infusions made in recent years. Those cash infusions are those calls of ownership to invest more money into the organization that they can then use to do certain purchases. In this particular case, I think a lot of people said that was when they wanted to invest more in the team, and they ended up signing a guy like Alexander Bogaerts. Now, the Tampa Bay Rays, whose owners will have to build a ballpark, were sold this year for $1.7 billion. The Baltimore Orioles.
Bless you.
Hey, Birdland.
Hey, Birdland.
There it is. They sold last year for $1.73 billion. Both of those teams perennially ranked near the bottom in MLB attendance over at least the past decade. And both have similar local television deals to that of the Padres. The article goes on to talk about all the different owners the Padres have had and how much money the Seidler and Ron Fowler at the time had purchased the Padres, which was $800 million as laid out in the article. But right now, if you look at things, I'm starting to understand why some fans have this negative connotation with this particular deal. I think they're racking up all of the events that have happened in the last couple of weeks for the Padres. I view this as a good thing for Padres fans. For whatever reason that the Seidler family is interested in selling the team. And again, you don't know. It was tough for that family that lost their brother. And this was his passion, right? This is his big thing, his legacy. It was the San Diego Padres and trying to bring the city of San Diego World Series championship. So there's a lot of factors that are at play here for the Seidler family, and there's a reason why, after months of conversations, why they want to sell the team. It could be money related. It could be more than just money. Whatever it may be, they are selling for a reason. And the fact that $500 million of the revenue, I think it's more than just the money. And so from that particular sense, this is a positive thing because the Seidler family is putting the team up to potentially be bought by somebody that really wants to own a Major League Baseball team, that really wants to get into pro sports ownership, that really wants to go out there and pay for a winner. And I think that is all good news. I think the possibilities of what this can be outweigh what some of the negative thoughts of selling a team would be. And again, I've mentioned this before. This is a different situation than most teams that are up for sale. Let's talk about the 2 most recent teams that were up for sale, the Tampa Bay Rays and the Baltimore Orioles. These are 2 organizations that don't spend any money on their teams. These are 2 organizations that have stadium issues to a certain extent. I mean, obviously, even without the hurricane that wiped the roof off of Tropicana Field, the Rays were looking for a new place to play. The Orioles have a nice ballpark. I think a lot of people like Camden Yards. I've never personally been there, but it's a little bit different compared to the situation that a lot of new teams particularly have. And I'll be able to go see it when I go to the Army-Navy game in a couple of weeks now.
Would you?
Yes. You were doing a bunch of work. Well, I'm going for sure.
What?
I don't know. You're not going now? Is that what they said? No, you're going.
Oh.
when we are going to the deal.
I want to go.
Flying in a BWI. So anyway, you talk about those particular organizations that sold. $1.7 billion, $1.73 billion. 5.5 times the revenue. They're obviously not making nearly as much revenue as the San Diego Padres are. They're low in attendance. They have stadium issues that they have to deal with, potentially. I mean, the new ownership group of the Baltimore Orioles might have to worry about building a new stadium in the next handful of deals. But when you go about this process, this is a different situation than those teams, a drastically different situation. This Padres team, and this is why I view it as a positive, I think you're going to get somebody that really wants to win. I think if you're trying to look for flipping an organization and trying to make a little money off of it, you look at buying a team like the Rays. You look at buying a team like the Orioles at $1 billion. This team worth $2.5 billion in a city like San Diego that has a championship level roster that probably needs some improvements, but it's definitely a playoff level roster that has the second highest attendance numbers in all of Major League Baseball, that's bringing in roughly $500 million in revenue, that has a gorgeous ballpark that's been voted the number one ballpark in all of Major League Baseball almost every single year. This is going to set up for somebody that's going to buy this team and help it become a winner. And so from all of that perspective, I think it's going to attract a lot of big names. I think it's going to attract a lot of people that want to get into the sports business. And I think it's going to attract a lot of people that are not only incredibly wealthy, but don't need the baseball team to make money. And they view it as writing checks for their toy. So I view this as a positive. At the end of the day, Padres fans, what do you want? You want a World Series. And I think this is a step into helping you get to a World Series. And in the meantime, the Padres, as alluded to, the Seiler family said they're gonna be spending around the same amount of money on the payroll as they did last year. And there's obviously a lot of rich people in town that are billionaires that people have put in the chat that would like to see buy the team. I know there's other families, maybe entities that might be wanting to buy the team. But again, I think this is a positive thing for the San Diego Padres. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. I think a lot of people are so enamored with previous ownership groups before the Seiler family came in that San Diego's had to deal with, thinking that you're going to get another one of those ownership groups. I don't think you are. And the Seiler family says they might potentially sell, but I don't think they're going to sell until they get not only the right deal, but also the right people in charge to continue Peter's legacy, as they mentioned in their press release today. So I view it as a positive. I think you can make up as many situations as you want in your mind about why this could be bad. I think if you stack things up, it might look bad, but I'm telling you, this is good news for Padres fans. And in the meantime, the Padres organization says it's business as usual, and they're going to be spending money. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. If you want to weigh in, I know we got some people calling in. We're going to get to Lou and Lucadia when we come back and dive into a couple other things that we had on the docket today. College basketball we had over the weekend. We'll take a little look at the Aztec game against Boise State on Saturday. We got Thursday Night Football tonight. We got a lot of different things we need to get to today on the Braden Surprenant Show. But your reaction to the news today when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Sports Station 97 through the Fan. This holiday season, too many San Diegans will go hungry. Join 97 through the Fan and support the San Diego Food Bank. Donate food directly online through our Odyssey San Diego Food Fund, where every donation helps feed local families. Go to 97throughthefansd.com/food fund and give today. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. I haven't had too many people react to us via phone call. We've seen a handful of people in the YouTube chat. They're now arguing whether or not there's an age requirement for PB. There is. As soon as you get to like 23, 24, dude, you're too old for PB. I'm sorry to tell you. It's time to move on. It's time to move on. As I said, it's time to start learning North Park or Gaslamp. Or maybe somewhere else. There's other good spots in town for you old 23-year-olds. But you know what? 23 is way too old for Pacific Beach. You're going to be like the second. You're probably be like the third oldest guy there, besides maybe a couple of people from out of town that don't realize that that's a way younger place. Pour one out for Enrique, dude. His PB days are over apparently. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's get out to Lou in Leucadia. Lou, what's going on, man?
Hey guys, your enthusiasm is infectious. I am really bullish on this news. But what impresses me the most is, the Seidler family and whoever else is involved just, took a collective breath and said, what we're going through is just not right for the team right now. And I mean, they love San Diego, they love the fans, and they love the team. And for them to admit that is a pretty big deal. Now, switching gears completely, is what I miss from the days of old is extracurricular field trips. Going to the Army-Navy game, going to the Del Mar racetrack, and things like this. Are those days gone, or are they going to be back?
Are you talking about like us doing shows out there?
Yeah.
Well, we are going to the Army-Navy game, so that's going to be fun. We're looking forward to that. And we have other things that we might be in the works. We like getting out there in the community as much as possible. I know Gwen and Chris are trying to be out at a couple of high school basketball games with high school basketball starting up. And it's a good question. It's a great question. Yeah, the Army-Navy game is going to be fun. I'm excited that we got invited back to that.
Yeah, we love doing remotes. I mean, it's as much as we might want to say it's a pain in the neck, but we love being out there, not only doing our job from somewhere that's not the office is always fun, but also to get out there and actually meet you guys and be able to put names to
faces to voices.
No, I was going to say gamer tags, but it's YouTube names. Faces to YouTube names. That's faces to usernames. That's what I was looking for. that is, we love doing that because we all know that without you guys, we're not doing what we're doing. And we may not appreciate it as much as we probably should, and we definitely don't say it as often as we should. But you guys are the reason why we're doing what we're doing, and you guys are the reason why we're living out our dreams and quote unquote working every single day. And we love to get out and meet you guys.
Always great. I mean, there's a couple other opportunities.
And it's not eyewash. It's the truth. It's not just my truth. It's the truth for everybody in this business.
Well, I'm just giving you a hard time.
No,
if it was anybody else, I will say this. There's a couple other opportunities here in the near future. Obviously, I mean, you guys know, like, coach high school football. You go, just come to a game and watch us play. I'll be in action on Friday at 7:00 at Mission Hills High School. I hope it doesn't rain too much.
It's supposed to rain a lot this weekend.
Every time I get the report, it's supposed to like be torrential downpour. It ends up not being. And every time that they say like, hey, it might rain, it turns into like a hurricane out of nowhere.
But it's not even that it's supposed to rain a lot. It's just supposed to rain for an extended period of time.
Yeah, I just hope it like continues to push back.
It's
I
like
thought today was supposed to get a little bit
It's
of
like
rain.
tomorrow through Tuesday, it's supposed to rain.
There's a flood watch apparently on the...
Yeah, I'm seeing 91, 98, and 84, 90% chances of rain Friday through Monday.
Friday, it's not supposed to rain. Now it's not supposed to rain until like noon on Friday.
Which is good, right in the middle of our show.
Yeah, that's great. Except like I need it to It's only 50% at kickoff. That's all I really care about. All I really care about. So that will be that. There's a lot of great high school football games in action this weekend. The other thing, too, is the holiday happy hour, which everybody is cordially invited to. That's on December 5th at the Leucadia. If I'm not coaching a high school football game, I will be there at the Leucadia in Solana Beach. Frank will also be there against his will.
Wait.
December 5th.
What are we doing now?
It's the holiday happy hour. It's a great time.
Okay.
There's always, you know what? Last year at the holiday happy hour.
This is my first time being a part of the whole full-time gimmick thing, so I'm not sure. Like a lot of these outings, I was never privy to. This is one of them. What are we
The
doing?
holiday happy hours are like a lot of the local media people go.
Okay.
To do their holiday party.
Fun.
It's an open invite.
Nice.
Got to get there early, though. I recommend it.
Great.
I have talked to Bud Black at this. He's been there multiple times. He was there last year. I've talked to Dave Roberts at these things. Dave Roberts has been there multiple times. He was there last year. AJ Preller has shown up a couple of times. Maybe he'll show up. Maybe he won't. Ted Leitner was there last year. Scott Miller was there last year. I got to talk to him. We had a great conversation with him. A lot of great local media people show up to that. Bernie Wilson's going to be there.
There we go.
Have a conversation with Bernie Wilson when he's got a Miller Lite in him.
If Bernie's going on there, what? We love Bernie here.
We love Bernie. Is Sam Levitt going to be there? I don't know. He should. You should tell him on Monday he's invited.
Probably be taking another trip.
That guy takes a lot of trips, You know what? When you have to work every single day, I could see why he takes a lot of trips. Yeah, I've seen Ben's been there a couple of times.
Works every single day and then has 3 months off.
He's got to take his vacations when he can. How about that? So that's always a fun night. You can come out to that if you're in the North County area. December 5th, holiday happy hour. Great time. I have a great time at that. My friends have already started texting me like, when's the holiday happy hour this year? We can't wait to go. I'm like, well, if I'm coaching football, I'm not going to be there, but it's this day. And if I'm not coaching football, then I will be there. Yeah. TikTok superstar Sammy Lev.
Yeah, he's about to get his pension from TikTok soon coming up. It's already started apparently.
His
end of year.
And with that,
sound is already
2025
going off.
Season comes to a close. I love when like people I know post that, and they're like, "This is so great," and then I tell the people, "Yeah, he works with us."
Yeah, I was going to say, you realize that we know him, right?
They're like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, he's real. He's a real person. He'll be doing the show on Monday.
Yes, he will be.
I will not be here Monday. I will be flying back from Provo, Salt Lake. I'm going to Salt Lake this weekend. TCU, BYU. That was a great trip that I planned a month ago when TCU did not completely insert word here, the bed against Iowa State. Absolute train wreck. And you know what? You know what about this? Because I know nobody cares in town about TCU football as much as I do, and maybe the 45 people that are part of the Alumni Association in town. If they beat BYU on Saturday, I might be more pissed off. Because that was going to be the hard game for you, is beating BYU on the road. And if they do it, I'm almost more upset at Sonny Dykes than if they don't. I would be more upset. But you know what? I'm going into it with a positive attitude. It's going to be chilly. It might snow over the weekend. But you know what? This is my trip, because we have a little bit of time here. It's my trip to Provo. So I'm going to coach the football game on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And now I got to deal with rain leaving, which is
fun.
Oh,
no.
It's not the rain
What a
that's
nightmare.
the problem. It's the wind and all that stuff. But anyway, I leave it Saturday morning at like 9:40 something in the morning. Fly to Salt Lake, get the rental car, drive down. I'll probably get there on 1 o'clock, check into the Airbnb. Game's not till 8:15. So I have time to kill. It's going to be great. I can even take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm going to go into the game thinking like, see if we can compete. Let's just try not to lose by 21 points. Apparently, TCU's won out of the last five in a row against BYU. I'm going to enjoy a cougar tail and probably some type of coffee or hot chocolate because it's going to be freezing at this place. And my guess would be they probably don't serve alcohol at these games. I'm going to take a wild guess on that. Maybe they do. I don't know. But it's hard to like when Provo, like there's a lot of places that you have to buy food to buy alcohol in town. And a lot of places are closed on Sunday. So on Sunday, we are going to High West Distillery where they make bourbon and try some of the bourbon there.
Fun.
In Park City. Go to Park City. It's going to be a great time.
You.
Everyone enjoys good cougar tail. I'm sure they do. Apparently, they have different flavors for the different games. So we've been looking at the cougar tail flavors, see what they got. I feel like you got to get a classic donut there, the regular one. Regular one's a maple one. They got a chocolate one, though. It's probably legit. I'm curious if they're doing any type of new, but they usually do one that's like a different color for certain things.
I just saw something in chat. Someone's.
That's true. I forgot about the caffeine, Cody.
Someone was saying that that I agreed to go to Pacific Beach, and Juan Ruiz in the chat rightfully said I agreed to no such thing.
And you're like 10 years older than what you should be going to PB.
And then comes back with the Frank has a being in public allergy. You have
rude.
You have no idea how both sarcastically and literally correct that is at this point in my life.
Do you know anybody that goes to PB at your age?
No. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know where PB is.
You don't know where Pacific Beach is?
No, I don't go out, man.
How long have you lived in this town and you don't know where PB is?
13 years.
Do you know where any of the beaches are?
By the water, I would assume.
Dear Lord.
No, I've been to Imperial Beach many times.
Okay, so you go north of that and you run into Coronado.
And
then you go north of that.
I've been to Coronado. I've been to Point Loma many times.
And then you go north of that. And it's OB.
I'll tell you what.
And then it's PB. And then it's Mission Beach. And then it's Pacific Beach. And then it's La Jolla.
I met a friend a couple months ago. That was my first time at Liberty Station.
Okay, we have to do some of these things that Lou said just to get you out of the house. Brother, what? This is your first time. How long? Let me ask you this question. How many years have you lived in San Diego? And again, everybody knows that you are a New Yorker, but I moved here. You went to high school here.
I moved here in 2005. And moved back to New York for between 2018 and 2021. I've been in San Diego every other time, though.
You've been in San Diego almost probably a higher percentage
about
of your life
a year more than New York, yeah.
Okay, and you don't even know where Pacific Beach is.
No,
it doesn't surprise me. You're the guy that doesn't know where the Chiefs play, so geography is not up Frank's sleeve.
I love geography. Don't say that. I love geography. It was my favorite subject in school behind social studies.
Frank paying premium price to live in San Diego, but refuses to reap the benefits. That's true. That's true. We should play the game of guess this beach.
Yeah. Has Frank been there?
That was your first time at Liberty Station?
That was my first time at Liberty Station.
Was that your first time at Fiesta Island when you went to Omback?
Yes.
Wow. First time at Fiesta.
Yeah.
Probably not the last.
No. I do plan on going on back next year. I've already got that marked down.
Mark that off. We're going to be playing in that thing. He doesn't know where PB is. Have you been to Mission Beach? Been OB?
Mission Beach, probably. I would have to. Yeah, I believe so. Mission Beach, I believe so. But anything
just go north of it, and it's Pacific Beach.
Anything north of that, not really.
And then it's La Jolla, and then it's Del Mar, and then it's Solana Beach, and it's Encinitas, and then you have little subsidiary beaches.
I've been to Del Mar. I've only been to Del Mar for the fair 3 times. I'm not a big fan of the fair. Things tend to go wrong in my life after the fair, so I don't go to the fair.
I don't want to dive into that conversation.
And I've been to the Kabu Music Festival the year it was headlined by Lenny Kravitz and Aerosmith, because I'm a huge Aerosmith fan.
I got to know, it might be easier to say, where have you been? Have you been to Julian?
I love Julian.
Okay. Maybe he's more of a mountain guy.
I adore Julian. The Julian Tea Cottage up there is unbelievable. Love it. That is a must stop every time I go. closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, though.
I wonder. Here's a good bit for people. The locals in the chat should put like what they think the 10 most iconic places are in San Diego and see how many Frank has been to. Like the Hotel Del is pretty iconic. I feel like most people have been there. You've been to Coronado and the Del?
Yes, I've passed the Hotel Del.
You've passed it. Have you been there?
I've not been in it, no.
You have never stepped foot into the Hotel Del. Have you been outside on the beach of any kind?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I have no reason to go inside a hotel I'm not staying at.
You can still walk through it. Got stuff to do there.
Why?
Elise says the glider port. Yes or no? I honestly, no. I've been next to the glider port because I play golf.
Cabrillo National Monument.
I've never been to the glider port.
Cabrillo National Monument. I have been to. Balboa, of course, I've been to.
Okay.
I'm seeing some of these.
The zoo.
Oh yeah, the zoo. I honestly don't remember going to the safari park, but I know I've been to the zoo. It's been a long time since I've been to the zoo.
SeaWorld.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you've been to the have you been to? Did you go to Legoland when you were a kid?
No, me and my brother were too old for.
Yeah, you
Legoland.
can't go there now. Just like Enrique's too old for PB. You've been to the fairgrounds. What else? What else we got? You've obviously been to Petco Park.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to an event at Qualcomm?
Yes.
Okay.
I went to actually funny. I went to see San Diego State versus Hawaii. San Diego State killed them that day. And I've been to Monster Jam there a couple times, and I went to the Chargers Giants.
Nice. Have you been to? I'm trying to think of other places. Have you been to East County?
Yeah, I've been to like Verona and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Santee, El Cajon,
Lakeside
Rodeo. Oh, you went to Santana. That's right. You know what? That might have been the first time.
We do probably think of a couple more places. We could probably get a couple of go live in North Dakota. Again, Justin Hughes, North Dakota is a myth. There is only one Dakota. That is it. Anyone who's telling you there's a North and South Dakota is a liar. We could probably get a list of some of these places while we go to break here.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to put a list together. See where Frank has actually been. Where in the world is Frank is a great opportunity now for a bit during the offseason. We'll get more of those responses when we come back. Plus, we want to talk about the Aztecs game against Boise State. A little quick preview for you. We also need a contestant for the Midday Sports Stand-Up. And be sure to be tuned in at 1 o'clock. Biggest fan gets announced. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Sports Station 97 through the Fan. All right, I think we found a game in here for Frank. We've made a bit out of this.
And by the way,
You're getting called out on don't do this, by the way.
and that's fine. But I will say I'm not lying. When I say I don't go out much, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. If I'm going out for a drive, I'm going out to drive. I'm not going to a certain place. I'm just going wherever my car takes me and where I can remember how to get back from.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. First of all, this hour of, which I guess is sports talk, is brought to you by SD Collectibles. Get ready, sports and Pokemon collectors. SD Collectibles card show is back at Liberty Station, where Frank just went for the first time.
Yay!
With over 100 vendor tables, November 22nd and 23rd. Find sports cards, Pokemon memorabilia, and more. Visit SDcollectibles.com for info. That's SDcollectibles.com. He knows where it is now. GPS is a thing.
No, I know GPS is a thing, and I use it anytime I need to go somewhere that I've never been before.
Frank has been to Tijuana.
I have been to Mexico. I've been to Tijuana. I've been to Rosarito. I have.
You're asking the guy that
it's been a long time, but I have been there.
You're asking the guy that's into motorsports if he's been down to Mexico where they do a lot of motorsports? Ball 1000. Fun stuff. All right. I asked, just for fun, and you guys could disagree with this list as well. I asked ChatGPT where the 20 most iconic places in San Diego. We're going to see if Frank has been to these places after living here for more years than he has lived in New York.
JH, no, by the way. Anyway.
K-Laws is on you, dude.
Okay.
They've been on you. All right, number one is Balboa Park.
Yeah, of course I've been to
Balboa
Park.
Where's the correct answer button? Frank's been there. He's 1 for 1.
Do I get qualified for the sports standoff?
No, you don't. You don't get qualified for the sports standoff. And when we come back at 1 o'clock, we'll be giving away. Well, not giving away.
Yeah, no, we
do have in the 1 o'clock hour. We have to give away tickets, but we also have to announce the biggest fan.
Yes.
All right. San Diego Zoo. We've already been on this one. Count it. Would you consider those two the most iconic things in San Diego? I would. I absolutely would. All right. Number 3, most iconic place in San Diego, according to ChatGPT, La Jolla Cove. Oh, my God. We've made it to 3, and he's already gotten dinged. Stunning seaside cliffs and crystal clear water, perfect for snorkeling and sea lion watching. The surrounding La Jolla Village adds upscale charm with dining and boutiques.
These are just date ideas now.
Keep it for what you want. I mean, I could go through like famous restaurants in town later, like the Marine Room or Mr. A's or something like that. Have you been to either of those? In due time, Frank. In due time. You should probably empty your bank account out, though, if you want to go there. It's very expensive.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Top of the Hyatt's a great date spot.
How do you empty?
Have you been to Top of the Hyatt?
How do you empty something that's already empty?
I don't need to hear about your life problems, dude. Moving on. Top of the Hyatt, great date spot. There's a bar at the top up there.
I've not.
It's open to the public.
Yeah,
it's great.
Great.
I know you've been here. The USS Midway Museum.
Yeah, I was just there. It's one of the places my friend wanted to go when he came out here in August.
Frank is 3 for 4. Anybody disagree with the iconic spots so far? I'm aboard. I mean, these are all things that I would tell people from out of town, like things you got to go see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on to the next one. Coronado Beach and Hotel del Coronado. I thought you hadn't been to the Del.
I haven't been in the Del. I've been to the Del. I haven't been inside of it.
I feel like you have to be in the Del. Has anybody gone to the Del and not walked inside that's lived here for as long as Frank has?
I don't.
What do we got on that, chat?
Again, why do I need to go inside a hotel I'm not staying at?
All right.
I'm not gonna tour a random Holiday Inn.
I'm 5 for 5 so far. I'm gonna add one that I haven't been to later. 6, Sunset Cliffs. The fact that it took you so long to figure out if you've been there or not.
No, because I know of Sunset Cliffs. I've heard of Sunset Cliffs. I don't know where it is, so I may have been there. I may not have.
Okay.
Where is Sunset Cliffs?
I know the exit sign over by SeaWorld.
Oh, for God's
I've
sake.
never been there. I know.
Okay.
I've seen it before. It's very iconic. I've never been to Sunset
I'm not
Cliffs.
a beach hater. I'm a sun hater is what I am. My skin hates the sun.
Let me. I don't know where Sunset Cliffs are.
I need to.
I know it's a neighborhood. It's like in between, like. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. It's like.
I need to apply SPF 5,000 every half hour, otherwise I get burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, it's over by like PB. It's very beautiful. I mean, I've seen the iconic photos.
Okay.
It's by OB, but I've never been there personally. Gaslamp Quarter. You've obviously been there. Okay. Petco Park. Yeah. Old Town, San Diego State Historic Park. You've been to the Presidio? I'm adding that.
Probably.
Do you even know which one the Presidio is?
No.
It's that white building on the top, that old building on the off Interstate 8 over by Old Town. It's on the top.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I've been there too. The mission's on here later. Cabrillo National Monument. And the Point Loma Lighthouse.
Yeah, I was just there in August.
Here's an interesting one. Seaport Village.
Yeah, I've been to Seaport Village.
Wow. Frank's on a roll. Birch Aquarium at Scripps.
I want to go now. I didn't realize that there was an aquarium.
By UCSD.
Okay. Well, now I want to go to the aquarium.
Some of these things, like I went to as a kid, like taking a field trip.
No.
So you might have missed some of those.
Mm-hmm.
Mission Beach and Belmont Park.
I've been to Mission Beach. I haven't been to Belmont Park.
X.
It's 1 and 1.
No, you got to go to
Like
both.
yourself? No, I haven't been to both.
Then it's an X. You haven't been to Belmont Park?
No, I've not been to the.
Have you? Oh, so that means you haven't been on the Giant Dipper roller coaster. I have not been on the roller coaster, but I have been to Belmont Park. In fact, I was there. I played mini golf there the other day.
I remember I got.
They used to have like
sick.
Pirates Cove over there.
I've been sick 2 times in the last 5 years, both of which were during the company Christmas parties that I wanted to go to.
One was at Belmont Park.
My first company Christmas party in New York, I wanted to go so bad and I got sick. And then here, it was 2 years ago, was the one at Belmont Park, and I got sick and couldn't go.
You got to go to the one at
I went
Valley
to the one.
High?
I went to the one. I went
year?
to the one last year, and I will be going to the one this year. Yes.
Elisa, do not put that in the world. I do not want to go on the Big Dipper.
Now
I'm not a huge
now we have to go
roller coaster person.
Now we got to go.
My level of roller coaster is basically Disneyland, and that's about it.
Those aren't even roller coasters.
Exactly. That's where we're at.
I
can do Space Mountain and stuff like that, but no.
What?
The Incredicoaster?
That's
absolutely not.
That's a problem. How can you do Space Mountain? You have no idea where you're going.
It's fine.
Wouldn't that be scarier to have no idea where you're going?
I know there's not a massive drop. I don't need to see it. I could do every ride at Disneyland except I refuse to do Splash Mountain. Reasons. I could do every ride there. And then at California Adventure, I'm not free falling. So Guardians of the Galaxy, whatever that is not happening. Even though it's not a free fall, it's just a pulley system. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And the Incredicoaster, I've never been on. I've been
Make your 4th generation ancestors proud. There it is.
Not a roller coaster person. Just close your eyes. Then every ride's like Space Mountain.
Yeah, exactly.
Mission San Diego de Alcala. Jeez. Mount Soledad. National Veterans Memorial. I've never been there either. I've driven past it now twice in the last 2 weeks. But
where is
up
it?
there? It's on the top. It's the cross on the top of the mountain over there by La Jolla. You ever see it off the freeway?
I probably have. I might see it today. I have to go to La Jolla right after the show.
That's Mount Soledad. I've never been up there. But I mean, I've been up there, like on the roads up there. I've never physically gone to Mount Soledad. But it's got beautiful views.
I don't hate La Jolla.
Apparently you do.
I love La Jolla. I never go there because everything is so expensive. That's why but I love La Jolla.
Torrey Pines State Natural Reserve. You have Torrey Pines? No, that's a mistake. That's a great place. That's a great date spot for you, big dog.
There we go.
Unfortunately, I think they're closing for a couple of months.
Oh, for God's sake.
Torrey Pines Golf Course. I have been there.
I don't play golf.
There's a lot of people that work there that listen to us, by the way. I get reminded of that when I go. It's great.
Love you guys too.
Love it. We got to get you out there. You haven't covered you got to cover the farmer's insurance thing.
I don't play golf. I have no reason to go to a golf course.
PGA Tour goes to that spot.
No, I understand.
Go for that. Go for that.
Adam, can we do a show from?
No, we've
Torrey
tried.
Pines?
The PGA Tour does not like us for that.
Cool.
Spreckles Oregon Pavilion. It's at Balboa Park. You've never walked past it?
Oh, in that case, I probably have. I just
It's
never
that
knew the
giant
name.
area with the Oregon. That's where they do like they have the little like what is it called? They have the little nativity scenes and stuff like that during the Christmas time, and they have it's the big concert looking venue at Balboa Park.
I probably have seen it. I probably have seen it. I've never.
I will not take probably have seen it as an answer. It's either
and
you've
I
been there or
said
you
no.
haven't.
I said
Look it
wrong.
up right now on your computer and tell me if you've seen that before.
What's it called again?
Spreckles Oregon Pavilion. It's the amphitheater there. We got about 45 seconds left, so I can see them.
Nope, I have not.
You've been to SeaWorld, though.
Yeah, I have been to SeaWorld.
San Diego Bayfront and Embarcadero. Star of India, Maritime Museum, Rady Shell. I haven't been to the Rady Shell thing yet, but, that whole
Love it
deal.
down there.
Yeah. All right. I was going to add another one. Kate Sessions Park. I have never been to Kate Sessions either. I've never participated in the picnic charcuterie. I've never done that.
Felipe's and Skips Ranch. Come on.
Felipe's is money, dude. I don't know why you got to dog Felipe's like that, but also Xavier lives in Mira Mesa, so that's why I dropped that in there. I'm trying to think of any other places that I might have missed, like iconic spots in San Diego. There's not a lot of like North County ones on there. Maybe I should ask ChatGPT for 5 more. Let's see what ChatGPT put up.
We have 15 seconds.
I know. Pacific Beach and Crystal Pier. Liberty Station. Ha-ha! Just recently. Mission Bay Park. You haven't been on the bay?
No.
Shelter Hyatt Island and Harbor Island.
I spent so much time in Shelter Island.
Mount Helix.
No.
Jeez. I got to go back and count the ones that you've done. We'll do that when we come back. And keep you updated on everything else that's going on in the sports world. I'm a little disappointed in you, Frank. We got a lot of list of places that Frank needs to go. Braden Surprenant Show, final hour when we come back. There's some good ones in the YouTube chat. Places that Frank's never been in town. What kind of percentage do you think we got on that before we move on to the Aztecs?
I'd say probably about 40 to 50%.
We'll just go real quick. Balboa Park was a yes.
Yes.
Zoo was a yes.
Yes.
La Jolla Cove.
No.
Midway Museum.
Yes.
Coronado.
Yes.
Beach and Hotel Del. We kind of gave that to you. Sunset Cliffs.
No.
Gaslamp.
Yes.
Petco Park.
Yes.
Old Town.
Yes.
Okay, so we're at 7 out of 9. Cabrillo National Monument.
Yes.
8 out of 10. Seaport Village.
Yes.
Birch Aquarium.
No.
Okay, so we're at 9. That's 9 correct? You're going to run out of fingers, dude. So you better. Mission Beach and
Yes.
Belmont Park.
Mission Beach, yes, but Belmont Park, no.
All roped together.
So then, no.
The Mission.
No.
Mount Soledad.
No.
Torrey Pines State.
No.
Torrey Pines Golf Course.
No.
Spreckles Oregon Pavilion.
No.
SeaWorld.
Yes.
San Diego Bayfront and Embarcadero.
Yes.
PB
No.
and Crystal Pier.
At 11.
You're at 11 so far,
Yeah.
at 21. Liberty Station, 12.
Yes.
Mission Bay Park. It's like being on the bay in Mission Bay. Been on the bay in Mission Bay?
Yeah. Yeah, I have.
On a boat?
No.
Honestly, I give you that because it's Fiesta Island. I would include Fiesta Island,
Okay.
so I'll give
So
you that one.
that's 13.
Mount Helix.
No.
Shelter Island and Harbor Island.
Yes.
So what are you at?
14.
14 to 25.
It's about 50.
Not the worst.
It's about 50%.
Not the worst. It's more than 50%. I mean, so
Well, yeah, yes, it's more than 50. We don't do math on the radio.
You get
so
to
we'll
pass.
just say roughly 50%.
passing, I guess.
Positive plus 50%.
There were some other ones that said, like, have you been? I'm sure you've never been to Desert Tower.
No.
That's a pretty cool spot. I asked.
Yes, Paul Adam. Yes, Qualcomm. I have been to.
Yeah,
several
we talked
times.
about that. So they went through like top 40 iconic San Diego places. They had historic and cultural landmarks: Balboa Park, San Diego Zoo, Old Town, the Mission, Liberty Station, Spreckles Oregon Pavilion, the Dell, the Midway, Cabrillo National Monument, Gaslamp Quarter, Maritime Museum and Star of India,
Mhm.
Point Loma Lighthouse, the radio show at Jacobs Park. I haven't been there yet. Heritage Park, Victorian Village. What is that?
Yeah, Victorian Village. I've never been to. No.
Heritage.
Del Mar Fair. Yes, I have PTSD from the fair.
Heritage County Park.
Not because of anything that happened at the fair. It's just how my life went after I've gone to the fair.
Heritage County Park. I think I've driven past this before. I don't think I've ever been here. They have like the Victorian houses. Heritage Park. But you know what? Is this in Old Town? Because then I have been here. Where is this? Yeah, it's near Old Town. I have been there. Never mind. Check that. The Whaley House, specifically in Old Town.
No.
I refuse to walk into that building.
I don't know what it is.
The Whaley House?
Oh, is it a haunted house?
Yeah, it's like one of the most haunted houses in the United States.
I'd probably do that.
I've walked around the Whaley House.
I
don't think I've ever stepped foot in that place, nor do I want to. It's across the street from Old Town Mex, though, so that's not bad.
So you wait there while I go in.
I will get I will definitely get a margarita and eat Mexican food while you rile up the spirits. Go ahead and do that.
While I get mad because I paid to go into a house for nothing to happen.
My dad used to work in Old Town. In the building that he was in, they tore down a cemetery to build it.
Oh,
and he's got some crazy stories about working there late at night.
Have we not?
You know what? Has anybody seen Poltergeist? At least they moved the grave sites. Anybody seen Have you seen Poltergeist?
I don't. I'm not a scary movie guy.
It's not that scary of a movie.
I still am not a.
So in Poltergeist, it was like this house was
the jump scares for me. I don't like.
This house was like haunted, whatever, and like some of the most notorious parts of this movie was like this little girl. I would say these ghosts and stuff like that, but like the national anthem would play on television back when they used to shut everything down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the national anthem plays on television, and then it goes to
then it just goes to static. Yep.
The static, and when that happened, weird stuff happening at this house.
Okay.
And it was Poltergeist, I think it was the name of the movie. And so, like, they were dealing with this. They just bought this house in this brand new neighborhood.
Katrina's saying Pioneer Park. Have I been to a dispensary? No, I have not been to a dispensary.
Anyway,
I've seen plenty of them, but I've never been to.
So it like the movie, like, it slowly starts escalating to like this point of like, all right, what's going on? Why is this house so insane in this brand new community? And then like they realize, because they were moving, they had a cemetery like across the street in the movie or whatever up the hill. And they're like, oh yeah, this is maybe, they're trying to like figure out where the spirits are and all that other stuff. And then, as like you get to the climax of the movie and like all hell's breaking loose at this house, you're starting to realize that the developers just moved the headstones and didn't move the graves. And so while they're like at the house and like there's stuff popping out of the pool and stuff like that, like just and it's just mass hysteria. And the main character in the movie goes, "You thought to move the headstones, but you didn't think to move the actual graves?"
Have we not learned from Simpsons Treehouse of Horror? I think it's like season 2, something like that. Have we not learned?
I'm pretty sure like they spoofed that.
Yeah.
And as Katrina said, Poltergeist is partially based on Pioneer Park.
We got to get to our.
Oh, we got the biggest fan.
Yes,
I totally forgot about that. Today's biggest fan that everybody's tuned in for. Like, yeah, okay, Poltergeist, whatever.
Yeah, but cool. You're fine. You're funny. Go, let's go.
Are you gonna call it 2 names today? No, they said yesterday's name was yesterday's name. Today's biggest fan. You got 10 minutes to call in to be qualified for today's biggest fan contest. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. If your name is called and you call in the next 10 minutes, you will be entered for a chance to win a night in our Odyssey suite at a future Padres game with all of the fan staff. Register your name at 97thefansd.com/biggest-fan in order to potentially have your name called. Today's biggest fan of the Braden Surprenant Show at 1 o'clock today is... Wait for the drop.
It's not gonna.
It just rolls.
Yeah.
There it is. Denny Gulyas. Denny Gulyas of San Diego. Gulyas. Denny Gulyas of San Diego. You are today's biggest fan. You have 10 minutes to call in to be qualified for the biggest fan contest. If you call in, you are entered to win an opportunity to be in our Odyssey suite on one of the days. You got 10 minutes.
Brad and El Cajon tried to jump the gun, and it was not him.
Same to Brad Escondido. No, Brad Escondido actually.
No, Brad Escondido is making fun of me.
That's right. Every time somebody's name doesn't get called, the YouTube chat kills me. Neil,
Fake
sounds
name.
like a name off a headstone.
Fake name.
Carlos. Can't say that one. I'm just not going to say that one. It sounds like you put that into ChatGPT. No.
Random name generator.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was the what were we talking about with the ghost thing? Oh, so that's like there was weird stuff that happened to my dad at the office all the time.
Yeah.
Like he had like a nun show up at like midnight that looked like deathly pale.
Cool.
One time, and he like lost his mind, and there was some other stuff that he talked about. There's a lot of people down there that have some crazy ghost stories. I don't like really, messing with that stuff so much. Do I believe in ghosts? Not really. But if me saying that's going to make me get haunted, I respect them. I respect it. I don't want to get involved. Do not bother me. I don't want to do no, none of that.
You don't believe in me? What's up?
Exactly. That's like the thought process I've had. I've had this conversation with people before, and they're like, "Oh, I totally understand what that means." You know what? They're probably not real, one, but I ain't walking to the Whaley house and saying they aren't. I'm just going to say that right now. I've watched enough movies to understand it doesn't work out for that guy ever. If you want to do that one, go ahead. I'll meet you across the street at Old Town Mex and have a margarita. But you know what? No.
I just got reminded of it now. I mean, we do have the San Diego State, Boise State tickets to give away.
Do you have a question for that?
I do not have a question for that. Hold on one second.
Jocelyn said she's been on the Queen Mary for a Marine Corps ball. No ghost scene. That's another place I wouldn't want to step into.
There you go. I was just reminded of it because I saw Tony walk past. Yesterday, during Gwen and Chris, Tony announced that his oldest daughter, Michaela Gwynn, is now a member of the Grand Canyon University Lopes. So she will be playing soccer at Grand Canyon. Congratulations to her. Absolutely. We wanted to shout that out.
Today is a signing day, I think. I can't keep up with the signing days. I thought they were always on like a Tuesday. It's a Thursday, so I don't really know what that, but today's a signing day. I know a lot of schools were doing signing days throughout the day today. I did see that Darvish's son committed to UCSD.
There you go.
He was at Cathedral today.
Nice.
Doing that. And I saw a lot of, it's mostly a lot of the baseball players were committing today. The Harrington twins at Cathedral, like coached Hunter Harrington. Congrats to him. Him and his twin brother, are really highly touted baseball prospects. Have both committed to Stanford today. So a lot of that going on.
So congratulations to the entire Gwynn family on now having a new soccer player, college Division I soccer player in the family.
All right, so I went back to I got distracted with the Whaley House conversation, the iconic places that ChatGPT gave you. Beaches and coastal icons, La Jolla Cove, La Jolla Shores. Yes and yes, no and no.
Oh, no, those are no and no.
No and no. Torrey Pines, we talked about that. PB and Crystal Pier, you said no. Mission Beach and Belmont Park, half. Coronado, you've been to. Sunset Cliffs, you have not. Ocean, have you been on the OB Pier?
No.
Wind and Sea, I've been to Wind and Sea.
No.
Man. Nature Views and Parks for Frank. Mount Soledad.
No.
We already went over. Mount Helix, no. Cowles Mountain.
No.
It's over Mission Trails.
No.
I think I pronounced that wrong. Everybody calls it Cowles Mountain, but it might be something else. We had a conversation on that before. Mission Bay Park and Fiesta Island. Yes. Kate Sessions, haven't been there. Presidio Park. I've been there.
No.
Cedar Creek Falls, Devil's Punch Bowl. I've heard of Devil's Punch Bowl. I've never been to Devil's Punch Bowl. Penasquitos Canyon Preserve. I have been there.
No.
Sports Entertainment. Petco Park.
Yes.
Pechanga Arena.
Yes.
Snapdragon.
Yes.
Viejas.
Yes.
Torero Stadium.
Yes.
Wow. Wreaked havoc in that category. You're like a good contestant on Jeopardy right there.
Some of those, like I have not been to Viejas and I have not been to Toreros for a game.
But you've physically been
there.
But
I have been there.
You haven't been to an Aztec game at Viejas Arena yet?
No, but
Sign up for the next credential, please.
But what I have done is I have been there to change out signage inside the arena.
Nice.
For both of those. The San Diego, Toreros football, basketball, and baseball stadiums. I have never been there for a game, but I have swapped out signage at all 3 of those places.
Waterfront neighborhood icon, Seaport Village, Shelter Island. We've talked about that already. So Paul Adams said Coors Amphitheater. Here's a fun game for you. This is going to tell you how old you are. What do you call the amphitheater down in the South Bay?
Oh,
what do you call it? Because it's been like 1,000 different
the Cricket
names.
Amphitheater.
For me, it's always been Coors Amphitheater.
For me, it was Cricket because I think it was Cricket when we moved, because we lived in Ocean View Hills when we first moved out here, and we could hear concerts at the Cricket Amphitheater when we moved here.
In my lifetime, that place has been named 5 different things. It was Coors Amphitheater when it started, 1998, and that rolled until 2008. And then it became Cricket Wireless Amphitheater, 08 to 2012.
Yeah, we had moved in the last couple of years of Coors Amphitheater.
Then it turned into Sleep Train. Do you remember that?
Sleep Train, yes.
Then it turned into Mattress Firm for 2 years.
I have no clue.
And now it's called North Island Credit Union.
No.
I always called it Coors. I've always known it as Coors Amphitheater. And I remember it because it was across the street from not Soak City, which I don't even think that's there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
a
Soak City Sesame Street thing or something.
Well, yeah, that water park is still there.
It's just something else now?
I think so, yeah. I'd never been to either one of
That was a cool thing I used to do when I was a kid. Like the week before you had to go back to school, me and my friends, we'd always go to Soak City. That was the last, end of the summer. And sometimes then he started playing Pop Warner, and all of a sudden it was oh, let's go to Soak City and then go to football practice. That's a great idea. Great idea. All right, let's get to Brad Escondido. I think he told you he needs to put the phone down, man.
Yeah.
What's going on, Brad?
Yeah. Hey, as I told Frank, man, put the phone down and go out and roam. Based on your list, I've been to every one of those, most of the time with a cocktail, except I've not been to Snapdragon, and we're going next home game.
Well, there you go.
I've been to every one of them.
That's awesome. Add it to the list, Brad. Yeah. You going to the San Diego State?
The next one.
The next one, the one against San Jose State.
Yeah.
All right.
And Braden, one quick question. You know why the Padres are worth $2.5 billion?
Why?
Luis arrived.
There it is. There it is. There it is, Brad. I knew that was coming. You know what? They got to sign him first, Brad. They got to sign him first. Appreciate the phone call.
They will. But that's 2.5, man.
That's the reason why it's the 2.5. We might have gotten our biggest fan to call in, so Frank's going to tend to that. And then we got to get to a trivia question for San Diego State to try to get the San Diego State question for. We got tickets to give away for the game against Boise State. We are going to talk about the San Diego State-Boise State game when we come back, and then we are going to ask a trivia question to give away tickets for that game for the next segment. Aztecs got Boise State on Saturday. We will talk about it when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3, The Fan. When we get to the Midday Sports standoff, hopefully we get to that tomorrow.
Yeah, we do have to start getting to that a little bit more often.
We just had so much news. So much news. We appreciate everybody that calls in. We appreciate everybody that's part of the show. We appreciate everybody that listens to our show all the time. And the great numbers that we've put up with all of you guys tuning into us all the time, every single day. It's been fun in the YouTube chat too today. I think some of the comments have been really funny. But we appreciate all you guys that love the show, love us. I mean, it was so nice to talk to the Surprenant Old Pros the other day and get to meet a lot of people that listen to our show each and every day. And we're the show for you guys out there, the ones that, the real San Diegans, the ones that have, been here, grown up here, know about the city. Then I love being able to talk sports to you guys as somebody that just loves this town, loves being where I'm from.
I do have a question though, and it was brought up on Twitter. When were you going to tell me that you have a sidekick named Fred? When were you going to tell me that?
You're a gremlin.
Well, no, Fred is the gremlin, apparently.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's also true. So I guess you're not the gremlin. Fred's the gremlin.
I mean, I'm a curmudgeon. I'll give it that. I wouldn't say a gremlin. My name's also not Fred either.
People are upset today. It's a positive day. It's nice. I think everything that's happened today is for the best for the Padres and for Padres fans. And I don't care if you like me or dislike me. I'm glad that you listen. We appreciate it. New York Mike's on it. Dinger. It's my sidekick.
It's true. Well, Dinger's real name must be Fred.
Maybe that's the case. Is he the gremlin?
Must be. Well,
he must be the gremlin.
Dinosaur.
It's possible. Anyway, if you call in and participate in the Midday Sports Standoff, hopefully tomorrow, and you take me down in sports trivia, you will be able to win an opportunity to go see Sammy Hagar, who returns to Las Vegas with his Best of All Worlds Las Vegas residency. Get ready to rock with your favorite hits from the Van Halen years, Sammy's solo hits, and more. Only in Las Vegas this March 11th to the 21st and September 18th to the 26th. Dolby Live at Park MGM. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. I do want to mention that all guests on 97 to the Fan do join us on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with the crime. Since 2010, visit DavidPShapiroLaw.com. All right. Let's talk about this Aztec game coming up on Saturday. Do you have a trivia question for people for this?
I do not, no.
We'll make it simple. San Diego's 6-game winning streak ended abruptly with a 38-6 loss at Hawaii, bookending their earlier 36-13 defeat at Washington State. The Aztecs are still tied for first place in the Mountain West standings with Boise State as the teams prepare to meet this Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium. Coach Sean Lewis said he was surprised by his team's lack of intensity and focus more than the actual results. Quote, "That's not who we are. We had a bad night. We'll clean up the mistakes and move forward." Lewis pointed out that San Diego State responded well after their loss, a 34-0 win over Cal, and expects a similar rebound against Boise State. When asked about dealing with losses, Lewis said he focuses on the process, not just wins and losses. Quote, "It would be miserable if I could only be happy 12 times a year when we win. I'm grateful for a chance to lead this program and help our guys bounce back." Here's what you need to know about Boise State. Their starting quarterback, Madsen, preseason Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year, will miss Saturday's game with a lower leg injury. Backup, Max Cutforth, a former walk-on, will make his second career start after completing 14 of 29 with a touchdown and 2 interceptions in his last outing against Fresno State. Boise had a bye week, giving Cutforth extra prep time for San Diego State's top-ranked defense. Do have some notes for you in terms of Aztec fans. San Diego State's 2 for 40 ticket special for the Boise game has moved over 4,000 tickets with about 1,000 discounted seats remaining. The November 22nd matchup for San Jose State will kick off at 7:30 on Fox Sports 1. That will be the final conference game between the Aztecs and San Jose State before the Aztecs move to the new Pac-12 season. So this game coming up on Saturday. We're going to talk more about it tomorrow when we can talk about college football and everything like that. But Aztecs against Boise State. San Diego State, despite the loss last week, I don't want to spend any more time on that. They are still in control of their own destiny to host the Mountain West Championship game. They still are. They can still host a Mountain West Championship game. They have to win the next 3, obviously. Now, if they don't win the next 3, or if they drop a game here and there, they could potentially still host, but all of a sudden now you're hoping for other results out there in the Mountain West. I think San Diego State, Boise State's going to be a good game. You get to play them at home. Boise State has 3 losses on the year. It's not a team that has been so, they haven't been the team that you expected them to be, or like the team that they've seen a handful of times. The overarching Boise State team that was in the playoff last year. It's a very beatable team. I mean, Fresno State destroyed them after San Diego State hammered Fresno State. So with that, I think it's a very winnable game. And so now you're looking at the next 3 games. They got to deal with Boise State this weekend. Then they got San Jose State. And then, at the end of the year, can't lay an egg against New Mexico on the road. We'll talk more about the Aztecs in just a little bit. But I do want to mention 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. If you're the fifth caller, you will win tickets to the San Diego State-Boise State game coming up on Saturday. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Fifth caller, and you will win tickets to the Aztecs-Boise State game coming up on Saturday. Should be a fun one here in San Diego. When we come back, we'll kind of finish up the rest of the show. Final segment of the Braden Surprenant show. Talk a little college basketball, and finally, put a bow on this topic of the Padres potentially selling their team. Final segment of the Braden Surprenant show when we come back. San Diego's number 1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. We usually have Eddie Brown here, but he had something come up, so we're going to have Eddie Brown on tomorrow. Big congratulations to Juan, who won the Aztec tickets.
We got a lot of guests coming up tomorrow.
What's our guest list?
We have Eddie Brown now. We have Drake Hills as natural on Friday. We have Washington Post writer and one of the first guests I booked for this show, Chelsea James, is coming on. She was one of the first ones to break and talk about the Peter Seidler news. So she will be on at 11 tomorrow. And we have Sean Goodman from the Idaho Star, something or other, up in Idaho to discuss the Boise State game. That'll be at 12:30 tomorrow. So 4 guests tomorrow.
How about that? Plus, we got to do our college picks without Skylar.
Without the Queen of College Football.
The Queen of College Football. You know what? It's because she's only got a 1-game lead on you right now. That's
she's got to not do what she did again last week, which was pick the exact same games that I did. Bar for bar. Every single game I picked last week, she picked.
No, we're back. We're not on commercial break. Unfortunately, doing the bit with Frank about like places he's been in San Diego has put him in a little bit of a
behind,
hole.
and I cannot afford to be behind today because I have to be somewhere.
No, he's got
I have to be in La Jolla at 12:30. At 2:30, sorry.
Oh, the background music's still on. Oh, boy.
I know it's off now. Relax.
Okay,
Calm down.
okay.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Chat. Idaho
They're
Statesman.
just trying to help out, man. Mario's just trying to help out.
Idaho Statesman. Yes, that's what it is. That's the paper.
Speaking of Idaho, I saw Bernie last night.
There you go. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, it was you guys that played the Vandals last night, right?
Yeah,
yes, it was.
The Vandals are in town to play UCSD over the weekend, but last night we had a couple of games in San Diego. I saw Bernie, biggest Idaho Vandals fan you will find. You know what? We should put him on tomorrow. Talk Vandals.
There we
hoops.
go. Why not? We've already got 10 guests tomorrow.
Might as well get the Idaho side of the Boise State game. Anyway, last night did USD men's basketball against Idaho. That's a good bounce back win for the Toreros.
Yeah.
Gorcito was great last night. 22 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists. I mean, he was great from beyond the arc. And they lost him for a little bit of time. He had a little bit of an arm injury.
Yeah, it looked like he hyperextended his arm. Like they grabbed him for a jump ball, and it looked like it may have hyperextended his arm.
But he had a great night last night for USD. And to get a good bounce back win after they lost to Idaho State. And I think a lot of people watched Idaho State play San Diego State on TV on Sunday, and we're like, okay. Tony was like, they didn't look like they could bring the ball up to court, Idaho State against San Diego State. And they did really well against USD last Friday. But they bounced back against a team in Idaho that already beat Washington State at the beginning part of the year. And with the win, San Diego's now 2-1 on the season, which is good news. Now, a couple of things I got out of the game last night for USD before we talk about UCSD. The Toreros, for the first time, had a starting lineup for men's basketball that I found to be very interesting. They decided to go with, at least in the first, based on what we've seen for the first couple of games of Torero basketball, they went with 3 point guard level athletes. 3 of the guys, the 3 players that have gone off to a great start. Tenary Lane, who had been great from beyond the arc. He only had 6 points last night, but he did make a couple of good threes in crunch time, in prime time. Going 2 for 3 from the 3-point line. He got the start, his first start in the Toreros uniform. Tyler Johnson, who's the transfer from Wake Forest. He spent time at Louisville. He's got experience in college basketball. Tenari Lane's got tons of experience in college basketball. And Johnson was 3 for 5 last night from the 3-point line. He had 21 points. Gorcito has spent a long time in college basketball, another transfer. But all 3 of those guys, the most athletic players that that USD has had so far this year, and the ones that have looked the most dynamic, those 3 got the start. And then the other 2 are the European pros. San Diego's got 2 players on their team that played professionally in Europe, in Boscovich and Vinkowski, and both of them got the start. So you had your 2 big guys that were European professionals mixed with 3 older transfers from at least one of them from a Power 4 conference. And you got to see a pretty dynamic roster last night for San Diego and a good win for the Toreros.
Didn't I hear your broadcast partner say that Gorcito also had like a busted lip? Like he got his lip busted open earlier in the game too?
No, that was the player for Idaho.
Oh, okay.
That was Rasmussen. Rasmussen's a freshman for Idaho. He had 23 points last night.
Big kid too.
Yeah, he's huge. He got, when Kowski went up for a shot, and on the follow through of the shot, came down and behind them accidentally hit Rasmussen in the face, who was trying to box out Jop from USD. And so he got hit in the face. He got knocked out of the game for probably 10, 15 minutes. But he ended up coming back in. He had 23 points for Idaho State. For Idaho. So it was a good win for USD. And they will continue their home schedule to start the season. There's a lot of home games to start. They got Grambling on the 18th. And then they'll take on UC Riverside on the 21st. And they'll have California Baptist on the 25th. And that is a look at the home schedule to get the season started for USD men's basketball. Now, UCSD men's basketball won last night. Did you tune into this at all?
It wasn't on ESPN Plus, so no, I did not.
But they were able to beat Fresno State 78-73. Fresno State off to a better start than they've been in years past. They're 2-2 right now. Leo Beath had 22 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and was 5 for 10 from the three-point line. Tom Beatty was 13 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 6 for 10 for the field as UCSD now improves to 3-0 on the season after a win over Fresno State. Aztecs are off, I think, until next week, if I'm not mistaken.
The Aztecs are off. They're playing Tuesday against Troy. That's their next home game. And then it's the in-season tournament where they play Michigan on the 24th.
Yeah, then they get to the players.
That's the
deal, which is pretty impressive. And hopefully Michigan stays undefeated by the time that they play them. I mean, Michigan's ranked 6th in the country right now. That'd be a great matchup for San Diego State to really get things going at the beginning of the year. Michigan's going to be at TCU tomorrow. That'll be an easy win for them. And then they got Mid-Tennessee State, and then they'll play the Aztecs, and then they got Auburn in that players invitational. That tournament's fun. And there's a lot of good teams in that tournament. But let's look at some of the local college basketball from yesterday. Now, today again, the update we got, or the news that we got today, that was the big news on the show, was that the Seidler family has decided to sell. The family has decided to begin a process of evaluating our future with the Padres, including a potential sale of the franchise. We will undertake this process with integrity and professionalism in a way that honors Peter's legacy and love for the Padres and lays the foundation for the franchise's long-term success. During the process, as we prepare for the 2026 season, the Padres will continue to focus on its players, employees, fans, and community while putting every resource into winning a World Series championship. We remain fully committed to this team, its fans, and the San Diego community. Seidler family has retained the financial firm BTD and MSD Partners to guide it through the process. And this exploration, as noted by Kevin Acee, is expected to result in a change in ownership, which would bring to an end an era that has been seen as the team, end to an era that has seen the team achieve unprecedented success and popularity. Here's the last thing that was kind of put into that press release that I think a lot of people received as season ticket holders. If the process leads to a new owner, the family is committed to finding a new owner of the franchise that shares Peter's visions for the team. A source familiar with the Seidler's family thinking said Wednesday, the best way to establish a foundation for the club's long-term success is to look at options for the franchise, including a potential new standard bearer who shares Peter's values and goals for the franchise. We've talked about this basically all day. We've mixed in some other stuff, but basically we've been talking about this all day. And some of the numbers that have been put out in terms of what this franchise is valued at. The Tampa Bay Rays sold for $1.7 billion. The Baltimore Orioles sold for $1.73 billion. And in the article by Kevin Acee, he talks about how there's that Major League Baseball teams and and what they have sold for have been completed for approximately 5.5 times a team's annual revenue. One source placed the Padres' revenue at about $500 million. The sale of the Padres would include the assumption of about $300 million in debt and more than $150 million in paybacks to owners for 2 cash infusions made in recent years. Members of the Seidler family and were part of a group headed by Peter Seidler, Ron Fowler, that bought the Padres from John Moores in 2012 that has been reported as an $800 million purchase price. That included more than $400 million in cash, the assumption of nearly $200 million in debt, and the $200 million Moores realized from what was the recently signed $1.2 billion local television deal. According to sources in this article, said that the 2026 payroll will remain in the same neighborhood as last season when the Padres ranked 6th in payroll obligations after CBT penalties and bonuses that echoed recent statements by Padres officials. That person spoke on anonymity. He said business is going to be as usual. Business as usual. So here's my overall synopsis of this again. And here's what I think is the reason why it's positive for Padres fans. I think a lot of people have looked at the negativity of, maybe the actions of what potentially could happen if the new owner is not as into it as Peter Seidler is, right? I think that's what a lot of people are afraid of. I think a lot of people in town agree with the ownerships that the San Diego teams have had over their history. It's concerning that they're opening it up. You might have to have a new owner here in town, especially with how great this particular ownership group has been in making Petco Park the place to be and investing in a team and putting together a playoff level lineup and taking the Padres to the playoffs 4 of the last 6 years and 3 out of the last 4 years. And I think people see that as a terrible sign of what could potentially happen, but I think it's just fear. I think you view this as an opportunity. I think you view this as a great opportunity to bring in somebody that wants to invest money in the team and wants to see this team thrive as an owner of the San Diego Padres. But the reality of the situation is this is a very, very valuable franchise. $500 million, as Kevin Acee pointed out, the team could be worth up to $2.5 billion, and this is different than all sales that we see. This is a different sale. It's not like the team is floundering with attendance. When's the last time we went to Petco Park and it wasn't a sellout? Very rare does that happen. Because of everything that the team has done, what everything the organization has done, they have made it the place to be. Teams that have that kind of attendance don't usually sell. Again, it's a different situation. When you look at teams that sell and have the fire sale before they end up selling a team, those are teams like the Rays and the Baltimore Orioles that don't have anybody in attendance. According to sources, the Padres made $500 million in revenue. They're not going to get rid of that or upset the people that are the reason why they're making that kind of money at the beginning part of your ownership stake of a new team. It's not going to happen. That's just bad business. And again, the Seidler family has said, and they believe that a key driver for a buyer is the San Diego market because of the attendance, because of how great San Diego is, the fact that the Padres are at the centerpiece of Major League Baseball right now with all the news that happens out of San Diego. And the fact that they have this rivalry with the Dodgers that's better than every other rivalry in baseball right now. But the other thing that makes this job attractive is not only the attendance, not only the roster, the market, the city of San Diego, but the stadium. I mean, this is a very unique situation where I don't think they're going to tear anything down when you bring in a new owner. I think you're going to bring in an owner and a group that's going to want to put their own spin on it and add more money to this payroll and try to win. And at the end of the day, and this is the thing, and I'm trying to talk people off the ledge. There's a lot of negativity today, and people calling me names and whatever like that. I get name called every day. I get name called every day. But this is the reality of the situation. This is why I think you got to be positive about this. At the end of the day, what do you want as a fan? You want your team to win the World Series. In order to do that, you need a good roster. In order to have a good roster, you need to have somebody that knows how to assemble a good roster. The Padres have all of those things right now. The other thing that they have and that they need is like every organization, I think the Padres have this. They need an owner that wants to put money into the organization. And that is exactly what the Seidler family has done. And that's exactly what a new ownership group is going to do. Yeah, sure. They might come in and might change a couple of things, but then they're going to improve said things. I understand the fear of a potential owner not, a potential owner. I understand the fear of somebody coming in and not being as into it as Peter Seidler. I get that. But as the Seidler family pointed out in their press release and their letter today, they're going to do everything in their power to commit to finding a new owner of the franchise that shares Peter's vision for the team. That was pointed out in their deal. So, to me, I view this entire day as a positive. And you know what? It might not sound like it's right, but I'm going to tell you in a couple of months and maybe in a couple of years, because this thing ain't happening tomorrow. I mean, this is going to take a long time when these things happen. I mean, teams go up for sale for like years. It could be years. And it says a probable sale. It doesn't even say that they're definitely going to do it. But the Padres might be in a better place when it's all said and done. And I really think that might be the case. So I view this as a good news. And the other thing, too, is the organization currently is not going to just strip everything down before to sell it. They've already said that they're not going to do that. And I believe that they're not going to do that. They're going to keep the payroll relatively the same as what they had last year. That's what everybody wants. They have a top 6 payroll in baseball and they got to pay the penalties for stuff. I mean, honestly, there's really not much more that I feel like you can ask when they spend like 60-something% of their revenue on their roster. We didn't get those figures from Ford from 2025, but from 2024, it was like 63% of the revenue that the Padres brought in, they put into the roster. That is an ownership group that is spending money and committing to winning. I'm not trying to spin anything. This is just natural reaction to what this is. And the reality is this is good news for the Padres, I think, in the future and the long-term health of the Padres being a perennial contender. That's what I got out of today's news. The thing is, it's going to be funny as much as they get mad at me for being positive. We know Tony's going to be positive when he comes up next. And Chris. And Scraby. We'll hear what they have to say about this. Obviously, they're going to dive in when they join us next. I will see you guys tomorrow. So will Frank, Braden Surprenant Show. 97 through the Fan.